fakes it. He's setting them up. Throws it to fucking Conklin or Rucker. It's really just a Jets chamber pot. Oh, we suck at stuff. To Garrett Wilson.
Oh, what a catch! What a catch!
That was all Zach, everybody. Oh, Quinnen gets him.
Yes! Yes!
Look at this.
What is it?
A real live offensive touchdown. Got pressure. Run, you idiot. Here we go. Oh, that's a catch. That's a catch. All right, everybody. Garrett Wilson doesn't give a shit. Look at Zachy do, huh? Let's go, Zod. Gets it around the end. Run, little guy. Touchdown.
Oh!
Are you kidding me? I believe in Zod. Let's go, Jets.
Well, skiddly diddly do. And how are you? We are here. We don't have GreenBean, but we have Frankie from Flatbush. And of course, you have Mr. Clean, Jets Chaos. How you doing, everybody? How you doing, Frankie?
Doing great. It's a day to celebrate that Scratchy Malachi is scratchy no more. He's playing. Well, he'll be at least active, so that's good.
As I nervously looked at the inactives and to check for his name, I did notice that. Do you think he took Quinnen Williams' spot?
Well, Quinnen and Michael are out. I mean, there's only so many people, I guess. I don't know what the explanation is. Is he going to have a role? Maybe he's going to return kicks. Maybe he's going to do punts. Who knows? Maybe he can get on the field and do something. He's a third-round pick. Excited to get him, and then nothing. So.
Yeah. As we get started, before we get started, as you come in, I want to talk about the sponsor of the show, BetUS. BetUS is the sponsor of this show. I'm going to show you a little bit about a promotion that they have so you can see for yourself. This is amazing. You're not going to believe this. This is incredible. 150% sign-up bonus. You know what that means. If I do the math, that tells me if I open up an account for $100, they're going to give me $150 to play with, to bet with. Real money that you could win with. Therefore, if you were to do a $100 bet, the only thing you could win is probably about $100, right? If you're playing with the spread. In this case, you could bet $250, but you're really only risking $100. I hope I did that justice. BetUS, you don't only bet on the game point. You could bet on the flat on winner, who's going to win the game. That changes the odds a little, of course. You could bet with the spread. Of course, that changes the odds. You can bet on a bunch of different things. You can bet on the over, the under, who's going to score more points in the second half, who's going to score more points in the first half. What about kicking? How many field goals are they going to be? You can even bet the under over on that. That is BetUS. And let me tell you something. They want you to win. They want you to win. Collectively, maybe not, but individually, if you were to talk to the CEO, he would smile at you and say good luck. He wants you to be successful. He wants you to win. Maybe he wants everybody else that's not saying hello to him to lose, but that's beside the point. Or neither here nor there. The point is, if you speak to the CEO of BetUS and say, hey, I'm part of your network. I signed up. I use you to bet on games and to enjoy football and make it more interesting and fun. I guarantee you he'd say, good luck to you, sir. And I wish you the very best. And I'm sure he'd mean it. So BetUS, remember, they are the sponsor of this channel. They make this all possible. So BetUS, 150% sign-up bonus. All you have to do is type in capital YOUTUBE. That spells YouTube 150. When you sign up and add your money, that's the promotion code. A lot of you know what a promotion code is. It's like this code that you put in the blank field that says promotion code. And that lets you take advantage of this promotion. That's how it works. Now, this is on the internet, guys. You go to BetUS. They have an app. You create a password, you have a username, and then you sign into your app so other people can't get in and make bets for you. You connect your app to your bank account. You can move money in. And there's other ways to move money in too. So you can pick which form or which format you move money into. It's all very secure. And then you can gamble. It's all legal and legit if gambling is legal in your state. So you don't have to worry that you break any laws or any rules. No. This is not shady. This is not underground. This is completely legal. BetUS. BetUS. And I think I've talked about enough about that. And now let's talk about this Jet game. Well, we'll say hello to some people first. We got Jugs was the first one here. Jugaloo, Jetsfan, Tony Alexio loves the package. He loves packages. Ohio Jetsfan was here. Jojo is in the house. Jojo, big supporter of my channel. I'm sure he visits your channel, Frankie. You got to love Jojo. He thinks we're going to win 35-24. So he's getting started with the predictions. Mr. Terrible is here. And Moreau is here. Ohio Jets fan. I don't know if I highlighted you. Our Mr. Feller's friend, John Hepburn, is here. He's always talking about the fact that we're his fellers. Kenobi Clone is here. Phil Adams, our friend from England, who has sent us so many gifts. Our good friend. I'm sorry about the Stoke City loss, but it looks like they'll stay in the Championships League, my friend. And one day I have that dream with you that they'll finish in the top 3 and go up to the Premier League. Here's fingers crossed for that, because the Jets sure aren't giving you anything. Dick Cheney's burner is here. Frankie from Flatbush is here twice. He's in the chat and he's with us live. Hamo is here. There's so many of you. Mark, Justin, just trying to say everybody's name. Havmo, it's hard to get everybody. Justin Jets is here. J-Boy is here. We'll get to you throughout the show. Chris Bradigan is in the house. We love our friend Chris Bradigan. And of course, guys, warm welcome to Harry W. You got to love Harry. Everybody loves Harry. And G-Man is in the house. And man, I mean, it just ends. And then your favorite guy, Tony the GM, is here, Frankie. I know how much you love Tony, and I know how much you love to talk quarterbacks with him. And then we got Andrew is here. And that about covers the people in the chat. But I will just go to you right now, Frankie. What are you expecting today? What's today's game going to look like?
Well, it probably, I mean, from the preliminaries and from what you look at, and you look at all the data, you look at all the tape, and you'd say this is going to be a shootout. No doubt about it. Neither one of these teams is particularly good at defense, and we don't have Quinton Williams today. So one of our very best defensive players, in case people missed that, he's got a hamstring. I think it's the right call. It's very, very cold in New Jersey. No reason to risk long-term injury with Quinton. Keep him out. He'll be fine for next week probably. So we don't even have him. So from what you would look at, you would say, okay, this is going to be a shootout, like a 35-32 type of game, 41-38, something like that. Can we keep up with them? We know they have a very good offense with Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and all of them peoples. They're probably going to do a lot of running up the middle like every team does, and now with Quinton out, they'll do it even more. So get ready for that. But can our old man offense keep up with young Sean McVay over there and what he's going to do to our defense? So that'll be something to watch. But mostly with these games, we're out of the playoffs, so it's time to really just focus on the young players. Can LT3 do something? Nice. Can Malachi get in there and do something? You know, how's the O-line going to hold up? Is Olu going to continue playing well? And the rest of the boys over there, the young ones, we got 4 out of the 5. So those are the kind of things to look at. You know, I think Braden McGregor is active in this game, if I'm not mistaken. So can he get in there and do some things and maybe stick around? What about Eric Watts? What's he going to get up to? Can he stick on a roster for next year or not? You know, what are we going to put on tape for our new GM and coaches so they can figure out what to do? Can Tyler Conklin wake up from his season-long slumber and do something? How about him? Can Jeremy Ruckert block somebody? How about that? Can we get a block, Mr. Ruckert? And a good one, not just kinda, sorta.
So many things that we thought we have that it's turning out we didn't, that we finally get to clean up. You know, it was a really rough year, probably, you know, maybe the most disappointing season I've ever experienced as a Jets fan. But I got to say, we definitely have exposed things that need to be fixed. I mean, some people will say, hey, I told you all along. But I mean, I think that the bulk of the fan base has woken up to a lot of these things that you're talking about. And I think that we're going to see in the offseason a lot of adjustments. I think we're finally going to realize that we need to actually go out and get a tight end. We've been saying it for years. You know, I don't hate Conklin, but he never really exploded or, did what we thought originally he could do. We were more excited than the actual production. And obviously Jeremy Ruckert just hasn't seemed to pan out the way at least I was hoping he would. He seemed to actually regress, which is really unfortunate. We need a tight end. That's just one of the things I think that was exposed. I think we have a lot of other things that were exposed. I think the defensive line is going to be, you could chime in about this when I'm done, but I think that, like, with the draft and the defense and the defensive line and how we're going to repair that and what we're thinking about doing is going to be determined a lot on who the new coach is going to be and who the defensive coordinator is going to be and what the scheme is going to be and what that's all going to mean. I think that a lot of people are already arguing, should we take Mason Graham? Well, we don't even know what kind of defense we're taking. And maybe you could explain to everybody, Frankie, why that matters and it's relevant about, like, what happens to the defensive tackle position based on what scheme you play as far as its value. And I'm just going to quickly say before you speak to answer the question, everybody's saying, where's Bean? Bean is in transportation. He's in transport, with his family. He's in Florida, banging around Florida, Pensacola, Orlando, all that good stuff. So he will be calling in hopefully later today if he gets a chance. Otherwise, it's just the old common chaos.
But to get to the point, so like a 4-3, and this is very basic. I had a discussion about this on the Gunny program, and it's very basic, so people are going to want to argue about it. But the very basics of it, a 4-3 is an attack front. We run a wide 9, and that means you need two defensive tackles who are mostly 3 techs, so they move around. And you need defensive ends who are very mobile and stuff like that. That's what we have now. If we move to a 3-4, then you need to get a nose tackle who's typically a 0 tech, and then 2 5 techs beside them, and then certain types of linebackers that you can walk up to the line of scrimmage, make it a 4-3 if you want to, but move around those linebackers as needed. And so you'd need more linebackers in a 3-4. You need more defensive linemen in a 4-3. So that tells you, what that helps you determine is, how are we going to construct the roster? How many linebackers do we really need, really good ones? How many defensive linemen do we need? In a 4-3, you typically need 8 good linemen. They're hard to find, and that's been part of the problem this year, was the backups were not as good as in previous years. So yeah, you got to know that first before you know how many of what you need. And so that's got to come before all this draft stuff. Now, fortunately, if you ask Dom C., our friend who's at the game today, and he chimed in that it was very, very cold, those are the reports we got. He will tell you Mason Graham works for any defense. He can play the 3 tech, the 5 tech, whatever you need him to do. So Mason Graham is a great prospect for us, probably no matter what is going on. But there's very few of those guys who are just kind of scheme independent, can do whatever you need them to do, no matter what. So we'll just have to see. The coaches have to come first. And the other thing, too, Jeremy, is whatever players we have, we need coaches who can get the most out of them. We were talking about wide receivers on my show this morning. It's like, why can't we develop Elijah Moore or Denzel Mims or Malachi Corley? All these coaches come and go, and nobody can develop a freaking wide receiver other than Garrett Wilson. And it's like, no matter who we pick, we have to be able to get the best out of them. And that comes down to coaching. So to me, we got to get the very best coaches money can buy. And that comes down to Woody Woodpecker opening his freaking checkbook and saying, yeah, I'm willing to spend on these coaches.
Yeah, outside of defensive line, when you think of guys like over the years, when you think of Franklin Myers and Huff, outside of that position, maybe a little bit converting Sherwood to linebacker. But when you talk about development of players, Garrett Wilson was good game 1. You
and I could have developed him.
Right.
He was fully developed already.
Sauce Gardner, if he's having a little off year, in his 3rd year, he's having an off year. So if there's any argument, this coaching staff, has regressed. But I think that's more about the team. But so there's no evidence that this team has been able to develop anyone, really. I mean, I'm other than a couple of positions, but in the most important positions, like the position of quarterback, we have a history of not being able to develop quarterbacks, but in the last recent history, we cannot develop wide receivers. The only wide receiver we have is the one that came, I guess development included with GW. I mean, because he was good game 1. Sauce was good game 1. The coaching staff can't take credit for developing those players. These guys were just good. That's why I think it's so important that we really, really get a different GM, a different head coach, that we go a different, completely different direction than we have in the last 14 years, even, because this has been years of failure to not only be a well-coached, prepared team with good game plans. It goes deeper than that. We just have not been able to develop young players.
Yeah, I mean, it's very disappointing because you can't expect to have elite players at every position on the field at all times. Injuries happen. You're not able to field a team of starters of elite players anyway, usually. So you have to be able to develop what you have, and they may be limited in certain aspects, but you need to be able to figure out how to use their talents in a way that can enable the team to win. They may not be able to do everything. All right, Denzel Mims couldn't play the X, the Y, the Z, the flanker, the this, the that. But what could he do? What can they do? What can Malachi do? What can these people do? And how can we take advantage of that so that we can win football games? That's the kind of coaching staff that I'm interested in hiring. And the game is starting.
Yeah, the game is starting. Here we go. We're ready to go. Yeah, there's I mean, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna suffer through this. Then we're gonna have the off season, and we're gonna be talking about this kind of stuff all in the off season. I'll tell you what, Frankie. The one thing that I feel, at least if you say, well, what's the sunny side of things, is it'll be the first time we're bringing back, the majority of the offensive line for a second year together as a unit to actually start developing and gelling. I notice I've done videos on this. When I look at successful organizations and you look year to year at their offensive line, one of the things you'll notice is there's not that much turnover. Like, you might have one guy go, another guy come, but like 80% of the offensive line stays intact year to year. And the change of that offensive line is slow over the years, as guys leave, retire, leave for free agency. But you're not replacing 3/5 of your offensive line in one offseason and then having to re-gel all over again.
And that's the good news. I mean, anybody coming in is going to look at that offensive line and go, all right, it's 80% done. If we're able to sign Morgan Moses, that's a good insurance policy that we could get for cheap, just in case. We'll probably draft one in the first couple of rounds as well. And the kick occurs here, it's taken out to the 21-yard line or so. Good coverage there.
Yeah, it looks like
But
it looks like the Rams will start with the ball.
The Rams will start with the ball. So we'll start out on defense. We'll see what old Stafford's got in store for us. He's been hot the last 5 games. So we'll see what Puka and Cooper and the rest of the boys in blue can do to the boys in green.
Yeah, it's really, really cold there, as John Hepburn points out, 15 degrees. I don't know what it feels like with the wind, but it is freezing in MetLife. And when you see that sun beaming down and 15 degrees, anybody who grew up in that area remembers what that feels like, and it's not fun. So we got the first play about to happen. Got the snap coming. And this is what I was worried about. We already got an 8-9 yard play. They're going to, I was worried about this from the very beginning, Frankie. This team is built to eat you alive in the short game. Just eat you alive with just on the inside, short little passes, screens.
Look at the execution there. Look at Stafford. So Stafford made that play. We had a guy in his face, but he's so good and quickly recognizes that he gets it out quick enough, and they're able to win.
Yep. This is when you have a quarterback who can react to pressure.
Yeah.
And it looks like we did not stop them. We had them in the very beginning of that play. It looks like we had to stop, but they got through. It was second down. They actually probably did us a favor. Personally, against the Jets defense, second down, I would have taken a shot in the middle of the field. But they played it conservative and said, just get the first down. Maybe they just want to just do this for one first down at a time, eat up a lot of clock, keep us off the field. I mean, the one way we could hurt them is offensively if we come out and play the way we did the last couple of weeks. And here we go. He's under center. Wow, look at this. Just dinking and dunking, but incomplete. All right.
I mean, the tape is consistent, right? We're seeing how they're attacking us, and it's consistent. They're not going to no team's going to let their quarterback just sit back there and let Spinny McWinney come in there and get sacks and things like that. Like, they're just not going to let that happen. So it's runs up the middle. It's quick game. That's how to attack us.
Yeah, I see Ohio Jets fans saying we need a nasty run stuffer. Always makes me think of Snacks Harrison. I always loved him. Just like me, he liked snacks, but he also liked to play good football. That looked like a 5 or 6, maybe 7-yard run. Just too easy, Frankie. Just too easy.
Right.
They took a
The
second
middle.
down and 10, made it simple, up the middle running play, and now they got 3rd and short.
Yep. Same thing every week. No adjustments. Why adjust when you can just keep doing the same old thing?
Yeah. Just and this was something you called out from the very first game of the year against the Niners. You saw it right away. We just don't stop the run.
And in particular, right up the middle. There we go.
Yep. Right up the gut. Nothing fancy, nothing tricky. And there they go again. Run it 5 yards. I mean, they could do this all day, Jess.
Yeah.
You know,
We refuse to put 3 linebackers on the field. We're in nickel. So far, we've been in nickel every single time, which makes it even worse.
yeah.
But
So, is there anything you could think of other than just bad coaching? Why we would continue to play nickel, even though we so openly cannot stop the run?
we love nickel. I mean, a lot of teams love nickel because there we go again. Jeez. I mean, it is a trend that teams come out in 11, so the other team comes out in nickel because you have to cover the third receiver. But then teams now can run out of 11, like teams didn't used to. If you came out in 11, you were throwing. Now they run out of it because they have wide receivers you can block, and these guys are the prototypical for that. Cooper, Kupp, and Nakua can both block. In particular, so they can block with their wide receivers, so they can run out of 11, and that means you're going to be in nickel to guard the third wide receiver, generally speaking.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I did a preview. What's going on, Harlan? I did a preview for this game, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, this is what I expected. You know, I was there with the Rams fan because what do you expect to happen? I said I expect the Rams to just slowly walk and methodically walk down the field, and the Jets defense unable to stop them because they have a great running back. They have a great offensive-minded coaching staff, you know, who's going to know how to eat us alive, and we're not going to make adjustments. We're playing the same defense that we've played all year. We don't do that much to screw with their preparation. We're basically saying we're going to show you exactly what we're going to do. Prepare for it, and it doesn't. Jeff, Ulbrich has not let go of that stubbornness that Saleh brought into this locker room, and that's a first down. And very easy first down on 3rd and 1. Brandon, the only reason I don't think they're going to win 45-0 is because I think that they're going to take their own sweet time with the football. So I don't know if we're going to get 45 points from them, but it's certainly going to feel like 45-0 if we don't change something soon and adjust to these guys. And Brandon's saying we could score. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly the opportunity we can score, but we'll see. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers can still play in super cold weather. I mean, he did have a career in Green Bay. So, Frankie, how do you react to this statement? If Aaron Rodgers averages 252 yards a game for the final 3 games passing, he breaks Joe Namath's record for passing yards, for a Jet. How do you react to that based on what you've seen this season?
Correct. We did it in 14 games, though, so we should keep that in mind. Much different.
Yeah. He only had 14 games, so I really wouldn't. I mean, I don't even want to consider. Let's not even count it as breaking Joe Namath's record because of that, right? I mean, 3 extra football games. I mean, it doesn't really count in that sense. But how about just the fact that if he gets 250 yards a game for 3 games, he breaks 4,000 yards? I mean, that's if that happened, that's kind of sneaky, right? He snuck up on us with that.
It's a little misleading in that I think he leads the league or is top 5 in pass attempts. And the thing you want to do in this league is be passing efficiently. So he has a lot of yards, but he also has a lot of attempts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some people are mad at Sauce Gardner. As I do this, I haven't been able to focus and really pay attention. So they said Sherwood messed up on a play. People are mad at him. So that looked like a good defensive play. But so we get a lot of anger from our fans right now. Everybody, when the things aren't going well, and we're going to be, an 11-person, in nickel personnel, and they're running the ball, and we have our small team in. This is the kind of thing you're going to see, and it's going to be frustrating.
Yeah, and when we have opportunities like that, you can't drop it. Like
Yeah.
Isaiah Oliver, you can't drop it. Catch the damn ball.
I don't know how you don't make that play. You got to make that play, and that pretty much sums up the Jets. But we did hold them to a punt. We actually stopped them. So as we're saying all this, they managed to tighten up the defense and force a punt. So let's give credit where credit's due. We didn't get the interception, but we did get the stop. So,
11 play drive. So they had 11 plays. 7 runs, 4 pass attempts.
Well, thank you, Swap Thing. I haven't been able to wear a goatee because I was hiding my face for a long time because I was very, very overweight. But now I'm starting to take off the pounds, so I'm back to my slicker goatee look. But I appreciate that. I'm not a very good looking guy, so I don't get many compliments on any look that I have. So I appreciate the shout out on that one.
Which is surprising. I'm just kidding.
Gibson is terrible. Yeah, we know that. Have you ever seen a guy milk a touchdown return for as long as this guy has been able to milk that touchdown, that he's still our punt returner?
Worley can't do anything, but Gibson's amazing. Elijah Moore is a bum, but Gibson's amazing. Denzel Mims, we can't figure out what to do with him, but Gibson's got to stay on the field for sure. I mean, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
And now we got to run the old man offense from the 1 yard line. I don't know if the old man offense operates from the 1 yard line.
Yep. Yeah. Just got here. Where's Bean? Bean is driving around Florida with his family. He might call in, so we might hear from Bean. We'll find out. We might see Bean pop in, but that's where he is. He's with his family. He's fine. He's not sick. He's not ill. No concerns there. He's just, I don't know. Somehow the schedule of his life worked out and fell on a Sunday, and here we are. I think he's either in transport or he's like in Epcot or something. So if he's in Epcot, you really can't blame him. I think I'd rather be there than right here. Jason Edwards comes in and says that we'll now have a 9-play, 98-yard touchdown drive. Ha ha. If you didn't put the ha in, Jason, I would have taken you very seriously because you are one of the most positive Jet fans there is. But the ha ha tells me that even you, Jason Edwards, have now come to the acceptance that this season is just not the season of the New York Jets. But thank you for the $2 super chat. We appreciate it, man. All the love to your family. Happy holidays to you and your family. You know how much we love your family. Love your kid, your son. Love your wife. Just great people. So just keep being you guys. Tony G comes says if the Bengals win out and KC beats Denver, Bengals make playoffs. So okay, that's good to know that the Bengals are still in it. So here we are. We're in our own end zone, and we start with a beautiful running play. That's not easy to do. 6 yards there. When you're starting at your 1 yard line, it is not easy to do that. So that was a good job by the offensive line. Good job by the running back to power out and give us some space.
7 on that. Wow.
Oh, 7. Okay. Looked like 6, but 7 is heaven. So here we go. Under center. I wouldn't be surprised if they run here again. They do run here again, very predictably, but get the first down. So far, good job, offensive line. Good job, Breece Hall. Ran to the left there behind Fashanu. So
Hall definitely looks like he's a little more spry. So I think he's over his knee problem. At least it seems that way initially.
Yeah, I think that we would have been better off to have rested him for 2 full weeks, not just 1. But I'm not running the team, so Nothing I could do about it. But yeah, hopefully he's back. Hopefully he looks good these last 3 games. I mean, that just tells any prospective coach, like, look what you're getting. Like, that's why it's worth putting up some good film right now. Need our young players to put up good film. Because if it comes down to a coach that we really want, and you got a couple of teams making offers to that coach or even the GM, it's nice to show them that we got something, that you're starting with some talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I personally think it's not, when you go to a team like a losing team that just fired their GM, I think that there's a lot worse situations than the Jets based on our roster. I really do. I think we got young players and we're better situation than most. Depending on how you feel about the quarterback. So obviously it depends on the person. Like, if you have a prospective head coach that's being offered something by the Bears and they're choosing between the Bears and the Jets, the question is, do they like Caleb Williams? It could come down to that. But I don't think the situation is as bad as people are making out to be. Man, that's not the receiver's fault, really. Can't blame him. That's tough.
Bad pass.
Yeah. Somebody said the ball's going to feel like a brick. Anybody who's grew up in New York or experienced any cold winter knows that. Is not an exaggeration. The football becomes a big, hard rock, cold ice brick. It's I don't know how often they're changing the football, if they're keeping them near heaters or what they do in the NFL, but it's no fun when someone drills a cold football into your chest. I can tell you from experience.
Well, and think about the ground. We have we have one of the worst playing surfaces in the NFL, and now it's going to be frozen over. So think about that.
Yeah. So Meadowland Swamp Thing, I agree. I think so up to now, Fasciano, that's a nice pass. That's a nice completion. Go. All right. There's GW getting on the board. First down, Jets. We're doing good. We're driving. I agree. Based on even the beginning of this game, I can't focus on as much as some of you might, but I watch Frankie. If you go to Frankie's channel, Frankie from Flatbush, you'll see that according to PFF, which is the only kind of measurement we really have that's in place, our offensive line has been scoring very well. And for a rookie, in his 6th game starting at left tackle, Fasciano's been very like one of the bright spots of this team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially since he's moved over to his natural position. Remember, he started out at right tackle, then we had him at right guard for a little bit, and then
yeah.
So since he's moved over to left tackle, he's really settled in, and let's hope he continues to do so.
Yeah. Ohio Jets fans has a question. Frankie, I'm going to send it to you because this is your ballpark, man. When we talk about grass, I know that if there was any hint that we were doing that, you would be aware of it. Second and one.
And there's not, as far as I know. As much as I wish they would, I haven't heard anything about that.
Nice pass from Rodgers to, wow, who was that? That was to Conklin?
Yeah, Conklin.
All right. Nice pass to Conklin.
How many yards on that chat to Conklin? How many yards are they saying on TV? We have the sound off, obviously.
Yeah, guys, let us know how many yards that was. Frankie likes to score the game, so.
Yeah. Kenny Yeboah is in the game. Kenny Yeboah is in the game.
Oh, nice. I saw that he was hoping we might get some reps from him. It's about time. Let me see. That Conklin was 20 yards, Frankie. And 1 yard for Allen.
+1 0. Yeah, each play gets a score, so that's why I need to know the exact yardage, because the more yards, obviously, the higher the score on the play.
Yeah. So we are at 2nd and 9. That's where we are, guys, in the game. I know some of you might be ahead of us. We're 2nd and 9. So That's where we stand. I wish we went to grass before we rebuild this team and move forward with these players. I wish we would just start protecting these guys and put them on a better surface. But, the mighty dollar is what wins in that. So that looks
To
like
make
a
like a
couple of yards.
You have to make a long-term commitment. Longer term, it's going to make you more money, but short term, it's going to cost you money. Missed block by Ruckert there.
Well,
So you just have to make the long term because players aren't going to want to come here. I mean, the way to make the most money in football is to win football games, and to win football games, you need the best players you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
And
big play coming up. Big third down. We'll see if they can keep the drive going. They've done a great job so far. Going to be hard to kick a field goal in this weather. Rodgers back, dumps it off. Looks like he's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. That was Breece Hall, I believe. So 2 yards short of the first down. Looks like he checked it down. I guess nobody was open. And Billy likes the green uniforms and green helmets.
Well, yeah, that's another problem is when your team colors are the same as the playing surface. That's also problematic.
Looks like we're going to go for it in 4th and 2. A decision I agree with. You're 4 and 10. It's freezing cold. It's going to be a hard, difficult field goal. I agree with the decision to go for it. What about you, Frank?
Yeah, I agree with it, especially since it worked.
Yeah. Oh, you're ahead of me. Okay. Spoiler. Nice little pass there. Who was that?
Devontae.
Okay. Devontae. All right. Guys, as you can see, I'm freaking blind as a bat. So I'll be asking what's going on. I'm getting cataract surgery in February on one eye and the other in March. Until then, all I see are guys moving around a field, and I'm just the dark colored jerseys of the Jets and the lighter colored jersey of the other Rams.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Can you believe that? You think I'm 80 years old. I'm freaking need cataract surgery.
That's what happens when you eat nothing but sweets your whole life, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. I'm a poster child for don't live on candy and junk food and McDonald's.
And and White Castle with ketchup. How dare you put ketchup on White Castle, Jeremy?
Jason Edwards loves the uniform, so that's cool. Hey, if you haven't already hit the like button, hit the like button. There are 254 people in here, and I don't know how many on Twitter. So definitely hit the like button. We need much more likes. Those milk thumbs, the way GreenBean does it. If you're watching, just hit the like button. It's not a difficult thing to do. It helps the channel out, helps the algorithm and all that good stuff. We got 2nd and 9. And let's see. Looks like a passing play. Rodgers into the end zone. Is that good? That looked like a touchdown to me. Even a blind guy like me. Davante Adams and Rodgers doing a little show off. And I did not expect this. The Jets stop the Rams, force a punt, walk down the field from their own 1 yard line. Beautiful drive. Frankie, is this sending a message to future GMs and future coaches about what we might be able to get out of this football team next year?
I mean, I would think so. I mean, all these passing plays and even the running plays, we're getting good blocks, it seems, for the most part. Jesus Christ.
Looks like we missed the extra point. It wouldn't be the Jets if we didn't miss the extra points.
That's what Carlson is.
Yeah.
But that is career touchdown, passing touchdown number 499 for Mr. Rodgers in his neighborhood. So 499, and also a connection with Adams moves him closer to, I think it's 4th on the all-time list of that connection between Rodgers and Adams. So we're getting close to historic numbers as far as that is concerned. But yeah, I think if we go back and look at that particular drive, it seemed like the blocking was excellent, even for the running game, which has been lacking, even as the passing game has been getting better. So that's exciting. I mean, Rodgers in the cold. Now, the Rams are not the greatest defense right now in the world, but still, they're better than the Jaguars. So, one of the criticisms of Rodgers these past 2 games has been, well, he did it against bad defenses and he did it in perfect weather, down in Florida. So now he's doing it in the cold in New Jersey, at least for one drive, anyways. Against a better, but not great defensive team. So I would say pluses seemed like for the offensive line, and again, we have to look at the tape for all this for confirmation to see exactly what was going on. But seemed like pluses for the offensive line, pluses for Rodgers, good all around. Minus for Anders Carlson, can't kick an extra point.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Well,
no bueno.
7 of 8 for Aaron Rodgers, and I'll point out again one of the things that's easy to that we got to mention, we got to talk about. It's important for the future of the team. The offensive line will obviously have to look at it all 22, but based on what we're seeing right now, my eyes are telling me, my bad eyes, that our offensive line is playing very well, and that's an encouraging thing since we already have 4/5 of our offensive line guaranteed to return next year. Jason Edwards comes in and says, I called the TD, man. Haha. I might have a happy football Sunday. You know what, Jason Edwards, you did call it. Thanks again for the super chat. We appreciate the super chat. We appreciate you. And I forgot about that. Jason Edwards, before when we started this drive, came and said, let's do the touchdown. And we're going to get the touchdown. And he was right. We got the touchdown. So good on you, my friend. Good on you.
Definitely put a safety on it by saying haha, then he could have said I was just kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's a brilliant strategy to be a little sarcastic when you make a prediction. Eric Craig is here, good friend of ours. Frankie, how long do we go back with Eric Craig?
He goes all the way back.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to I wouldn't mind. You could draft a kicker in the 7th round, sometimes the 6th rounds, if it's someone special. Wouldn't it be nice if we controlled the narrative rather than take who's there, actually went and took the best senior kicker out of college and just took just find a freaking kicker for us already. Stick, and I mean, because I'm just so tired of this, but Zerline is signed when he's going to have a chance to win back his job because he was injured. I know that might piss off a lot of people, but
so good last year. I mean,
yeah.
These kickers are up and down. Look at what's happening with Justin Tucker. Look what happened with some of these reliable kickers. I mean, some of them stay reliable, like Jason Myers, who we let go, and others, like a Nick Folk. But others, then they fall off, and it's just unpredictable. I think we're going to stick with Zerline probably. We're going to have a lot of holes to fill in the roster. Don't forget, we're going to need to use all of our draft picks on, roster players. Real players, for lack of a better word. Because we're gonna need to fill a lot of spots, and again, we're in nickel.
Juggernaut points out. We talked about. Juggalo pointed out. We talked about it that this might be a lower scoring game than people think because of the long possessions that we should expect. We only had 2 possessions, and the entire first quarter is gone, and we had 2 possessions. So that's what might keep this game close in itself. Both of these teams are capable of, if they're capable of sustaining long drives, it's hard for one team to really get way ahead of another.
That's true.
So,
I mean, it's amazing. We refuse to come out in frickin' base.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
We refuse. We just refuse. That we're just telling them, please run it down our throats.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. We need to, it'll be interesting to see how we rebuild this defense. But there's a lot of people on defense who are on 1-year deals, for example. We're going to have to replace a lot of those people with draft picks because we don't also have a lot of cap room. So we're probably going to have a few key, maybe 2 or 3 big free agent signings, and then the rest are going to be value signings. So I don't think we can really use a draft pick on a kicker. Now, if somebody's available as a UDFA that looks decent, bring them into camp, see what they can do. But other than that, we're gonna need to fill out the roster with the draft picks, I think.
The last time we had a 99-yard touchdown drive, Frankie, was 2016.
It looked easy, right? The reason why things look easy or hard in the NFL on offense, hate to break this to people, is because of the offensive line.
Offensive line. Yeah.
Right? Like it looks like, because you don't think about it. It's like, wow, Rodgers, wow, Adams, wow, Garrett, wow, Brees. But really, the offensive line allows that to happen because people weren't in Rogers' face, people weren't breaking through the lines, tackling, Breeze behind the line, a tackle for loss. So I keep going back to the O line, and that makes me very happy, and I think it would make anybody very happy. Any potential general manager, any potential head coach watching it, that's the building block you need the most. You need lots of things, of course, but it all starts up front with the big boys. So far so good. We'll see how it goes. Now the Rams do have some exciting young players on defense. Their defense overall isn't great, but they do have some exciting young guys like Jared Verse and Brandon Fisk and others. So those guys are playmakers. So I wouldn't count them out for the whole game. We'll see what they're able to come up with.
And guys, GreenBean is in transport. He's in Florida, Pensacola, Orlando. He's doing the whole thing, having a vacation with his family. That's why we're stepping in. He might call in later. He might not. I can't guarantee that. I don't want to promise that. But just those of you that keep joining in and out, just so you're wondering where he is, he's fine. He's not sick or anything like that. Everything is fine with GreenBean. But we're not going to see a lot of him today. I can promise you that much. And Phil Adams is explaining it to people, so that's good. Hopefully he's hopefully secretly GreenBean is interviewing for the GM job. That would be great. Yeah, Frankie, I think you made a great point before. When you want to talk about the offensive line, literally the first play from the 1 yard line, we were able to run a 8-yard play. And that takes great offensive line because in the 1 yard line, you almost guarantee the defense knows we're going to run the ball, right? Because you're trying to get some space. So for us to get 7-8 yards on that first run, right there it puts an exclamation point on the offensive line because that just does not happen without a great offensive line play.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We now have a 5-man line. This is unbelievable, man. That we do the exact opposite of what the hell we should do. Why are we bringing? Oh man,
a fungus among us is counting on beer to warm him up if he's in the stadium. I think. Oh no, beer with a beer. That's the way people warm up. Sometimes they drink a cold beer to warm up. But people will swear by that. So I don't know. I usually have my hands in my pockets when I'm sitting in a stadium and it's freezing cold. I did go to a Jet game, Frankie, when it was about 5 degrees with my brother when they played the Colts against I forgot the name of that quarterback that with the cannon of an arm, but he never panned out. Years ago, years and years and years ago, in the 90s.
I have no memory of such.
Maybe things. It was Jeff George or something. I'm trying to think. He had like a cannon arm, but he never really worked out. Rex Ryan is here, giving us a super chat, giving us some love, saying love having Frankie back on more consistently. I think we all do. It was like a big boost to the Jets content world to get Frankie back. Coffee with Frankie and, on Sunday mornings, it was legendary and now is back and is still legendary. And the post-game reactions, the PFF scores and the thoughts and the look at the statistics and numbers. These are things that we needed, Frankie. These are important things for Jet fans. And you, when you took it away from us, it hurt. It hurt for a while. We missed it.
Look at this play that was just made. We were in base. They try a pass because they see a third linebacker on the field, and this is what happens. This is good tackle by DJ Reed. He's down right there, and you can't be afraid to be in base. All brick.
Yeah. And I remember there was a philosophy that Saleh had about no big plays, and I wonder if that's why they're always in nickel, that they're always scared of that. But I understand too. You're saying that they're lining up in 11, so we just very predictably respond to what they're doing. If they're going to line up in an 11 personnel, we're going to be playing nickel, right?
And our nickel doesn't look at this pass. Did having Oliver on Cup do anything here? No,
did nothing. I was worried about this. They could eat us alive in the middle of the field here. They could just. We're just not going to be able to stop it. Our scheme just doesn't. This scheme doesn't work, and they're never going to put Sauce Gardner and let him shadow one receiver the whole game. Even if whether he could do it or not, they're not going to even try it because we know they're too stubborn to do that.
And plus, they're not going to try. I mean, they're not going to probably attack him very much on the outside unless special situations. So, yeah, I don't know. This is, you have to have, for this defense to work, you have to have 8 really good defensive linemen. It's even at that, it's not preferred for me, but if you have 8 really good defensive linemen, okay, I could see going to that. But we don't. Then we hollowed out the defensive line this year. That's the other part I don't understand.
Rex Ryan points out Frankie with the no sell after the promotion of his channel. That's because Frankie is not here to promote his channel. He's a humble guy. He does his channel because he loves it. So he's not going to.
Go to my channel and subscribe, everybody.
They're begging you. They're begging you to sell your channel, man.
Go to my channel and subscribe, everybody. It's really worth it. It's amazing.
For the love of God, would you subscribe to his channel? There are YouTube content providers out there with thousands of subscribers, and Frankie is how to rebuild from scratch. But it is the most. It's the biggest injustice in Jets content history that Frankie is not the guy with thousands of subscribers because he's actually putting out the most unique and probably useful content out there. Huge play here. Big play. Man, are you looking for how many yards that was?
I need to check, but there might be a penalty. Illegal motion offense.
That saved us. Wow, that saved us.
So that's a negative.
Yep, it's 1st and 15. So there you go. We got saved. That was ugly. That was scary. But really, it's I look at some of these channels, including my own, and say there's no way Frankie shouldn't have 25,000 subs. It's ridiculous. I don't know what you're looking for. If you're looking for good content for the Jets, I don't know what you're doing if you're not subscribed to Frankie.
Well, I appreciate it. And we try to do data analytics, we try to do film study, we try to do it all. And we talk about the media, my favorite topic.
Yes. I hope the Jets get a nice new retractable stadium. Look, we would love that. Oh, here we go. Let me see what's going on in the game. Looks like a completed pass on 1st and 15. That's going to probably fall for about 9 yards.
No, it's incomplete.
Oh, okay.
Regan, you know how much planning it takes to do that? Like if we were going to move in that direction, planning has to start like 5 years before it actually happens. Like you would hear about it now for plans for like 2030. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're not hearing about anything like that.
So, man, we love to play the upset on the Rams, don't we? We love to spoil the Rams, man. We love to play spoiler. Here we are, 2nd and 15. We could say they could blame it on the cold, the drop passes, but we didn't have that issue. So, there's that. And it looks like an interception. Who was that? Who is that, Frankie? 22.
The man that Woody Woodpecker said we got a bench. That's a -4. Wow. Defense comes up big, although really they didn't really do much. He just overthrew a guy. But yeah, nice catch, Tony Adams. At least he didn't drop it this time.
Yeah. At least he didn't. He made up for before a little bit. So guys, we got a 6-0 lead. We just got the interception. We're sitting here with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter, and the Rams don't have any points. So while it might not be as pretty as some of us want it to be, and there's been some frustration, we're finding a way to keep them off the board, or they're finding a way to keep themselves off the board. But either way, so far we've executed, we've dealt with the environment, they haven't. So even when you say, oh, well, it's the weather, that's why they're dropping the ball, not because of our defense. But then you have to ask the question, and you have to give credit to our offense because we have been able to execute. We have been able to do what we've needed to do when we've had our opportunity. And it's amazing to me to say there's 9 minutes left in the second half, and we've only had the ball once, Frankie.
Yeah, well, they had an 11 play drive. They had basically have had two drives. We've had one. They had two 11 play drives and have no points off of them. That is really weird. When a team has a double digit drive, you almost always at least get a field goal or a field goal attempt out of it. They have two 11 play drives and no points and not even a field goal attempt. So that would
Yeah.
be bend, don't break. But hey, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
And
Much as
Billy
I
is
don't
right.
like the
Bi-
approach, but
Billy is right. This is a disaster right now. So far, I mean, the game's far from over, but this is would be a disastrous loss for the Rams. Like this would be absolutely, probably worse than the one that we dealt them in 2020. They're sitting here fighting for their lives. There's no wild card path. The only path for them to make the playoffs is the division. They're in a tough fight with Seattle. They need this win desperately. So the one thing we might really this is the example of, if we win this game, we have played the role of spoiler.
absolutely. And they're a West Coast team and a Southern California team. Can they travel well? Can they play in the cold? Who knows? Maybe they'll improve. It's only been two drives, but like I said, it's not like they haven't moved the ball. They have two 11 play drives and nothing to show for it, which is unusual. And we've had one drive. This is our second drive right here. So
Yeah,
interesting game. Yeah, ball control.
it would be unbelievable. I mean, the Rams got to be frustrated. They're moving the ball at will. They're running the ball at will. I think Williams has 5 yards of carry, and they can't get any points.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is feeling it today. I mean, he's just making good decisions. He's getting rid of the ball. This is, he's the last couple of weeks he's looking, and so far today he's looking like the Aaron Rodgers that we all dreamed about and wanted, right? It's not Aaron Rodgers prime, but it's the very competent quarterback play that we've been waiting for forever, and it's finally seems to be hitting.
Well, and he's finally healthy, so that's
Mm,
the other thing
yeah.
that we've been looking at is how healthy is he? And oh boy,
Is
and
that a Lazard drop?
yep,
Yeah. Yeah. The only reason why we might see Lazard back is if Rogers comes back, is because he costs $6 million to keep. Because if we cut him, it costs us $6 million. If we keep him, it costs us 12. So it's basically a $6 million tab for this guy Lazard. Versus, we're not going to be able to replace him for $6 million. Doesn't that with anybody that's any better probably. And Aaron likes him, but man, the drops from Lazard are painful. And he seems to have reverted, like he regressed back after the injury to who he was last year. Brees Hall, not a lot of space. Oh, now the question is, do we go for it on 4th and 1? It's 4th and a very short one. I mean, I think you can go for it here. It's a very short one, but it's not the right part of the field. So I think we might punt. I don't know. It's like
challenge
4th
the
and
spot. Challenge the spot.
Yeah, they should definitely challenge the spot. Take a shot. But what do you guys think? Are we going to go for it here? I mean, all you got to do is have Rodgers fall forward. Yeah, it looks like they're going for it. Do the push. Do the push. I think he's got it.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I don't like where the ref is standing. Maybe not. People are ahead of us, so I think people know whether we got it or not. Close, not even close. Not even close doesn't tell me if we got it. Billy SBC is saying we got it. 1st and 10. Did we get it or not? They're celebrating, so no, we didn't get it. Wow, what a disappointment. If we didn't get it, what a disappointment. Looks like we didn't get it.
I don't understand this idea. Whenever we do short yardage runs, it's always just power up the middle. That's the one thing we're not great at yet. I would have liked to seen some misdirection there.
Yeah, it's a very predictable play. I mean, I imagine they did it because it's been working. We've been able to run the ball right in their face.
Yeah, but when you have
Um,
a short in inches, they're going to load up in the middle. That's exactly,
yeah,
I mean, and we're not to the point. I don't understand why the coaches don't get, we're not to the point where we can just muscle up and do that against
yeah,
in any situation. Like we're not there. We need a
Yeah.
little bit of misdirection or something. That's a missed opportunity. They should have challenged the spot on the Hall thing because Hall was diving. They didn't even show a replay. Of course, when it's something that could benefit the Jets, they never show the freaking replay. But they should have challenged the one because Hall was diving. They might have determined that he got past the marker. Ulbrich should have challenged it. What's there to lose by challenging?
Right. And then, and as it's pointed out, why wasn't, again, the question comes out about the use of personnel. Use of personnel. We have Braylon Allen. We have Isaiah Davis. We have power running backs. We used 2 draft picks when there were wide receivers on the board still. We could have brought in, we traded back before not George Pickens, the Roman Wilson was on the board. There were other wide receivers. We could have not only taken Corley, but we went with 2 running backs that were power backs, and we just used neither of them. And that's what they do, right? That's their specialty. That's why they have jobs. That's why we drafted them. So there is that question. Frankie, why didn't we just bring in Allen at least and go with our power running back?
I don't know. It's like this coaching staff is just so stubborn and so lacking in adaptations during the game and coming up with game plans where we can again put people in position to win. You have Braylon Allen, use him in certain situations. Even if he's not going to be featured, there should be certain situations where it's going to be the Allen package or the Davis package. But it mostly comes down to blocking. We just didn't block it up, and it's hard to imagine. I mean, we're not a type of team who can just blow you away yet. You need to do that. You need tight ends who are monster blockers and things like that. We don't have that yet.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting better with our blocking, but we're not the type of team that can just overpower you in any situation like 3rd and short, 4th and short. So I'm not sure why we think that's who we are, because we're not.
Right. It's just kind of incredible to me that how badly coached that little segment was. And I think that's something we could kiss goodbye, hopefully. But if the bad coaching will come from somebody else, if it's bad coaching next year, and I'm watching our team fail to be able to tackle a running back, I honestly don't know why the Rams just aren't running every single play until we prove we could stop it. They may have figured that out, but man, did that just change the entire momentum of the game, and it pretty much sums up the Jets season. I mean, this is just, we have taken guns, pointed it at our feet, pointed it at our knees, and we have shot ourselves repeatedly all year long. And that's just bad coaching. That's what that comes down to. Poor coaching. Little screen out pass, and it looks like it's going to get all the way to the 3-yard line. I think we're about to lose our lead, Frankie. That was fast, huh?
It's amazing how the remake of this defense is going to be the most fascinating thing of the offseason to me, because it's so obvious what we're doing that they can do what, we went to base there. So of course they go to the pass and they go, all right, well, you can't defend this then.
Yeah.
Like, it's just obvious what we're doing. We just make it so obvious.
Yeah. Extremely obvious.
That anybody could just attack it. We never disguise anything.
And there you go. Is he in? Yep, he's in. Touchdown. Very predictable. This is what I thought the whole game would look like. And you see how we stopped in the first 2 drives. And as soon as the coaching, the horrible coaching, was able to impact the game, how fast the momentum turns and how fast the team turns apart. So this doesn't happen with competent coaching. With competent coaching, because the coaching gave the momentum of that game away as much or more than the players did. And that's what's so aggravating. It's just such a poorly coached team. And it's going to be so refreshing to at least know we're going to come into next year with a new coaching staff. And whether it's the coach, did he miss the extra point? Or
Yes, he missed it.
That's amazing. 6-6. Whether
6'6".
Yeah, I mean, we can hire the worst possible coach, like in the fans' perspective. It's still better than what we have. Like, there's no way we could go into next year with a worse coaching situation. At least
I
I
mean,
don't feel that way than the
it could
one we
always
have
be.
right now.
It could always be worse. I mean, that's why these reports that keep coming out from Gossip Girl and Caterpillar Boy of the Athletic, it's why they're so disheartening or concerning, because you wonder if it hurts the ability of us to get the best, because we need the best. We don't
Yeah,
need a bunch of bums. We need the best.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if the best are going to, like, is Mike Vrabel really want to come here after he reads about all the things that Woody Woodpecker's doing with his sons and so forth and so on? I
Yeah,
mean, I
no,
don't think so.
it's very concerning, and he's gonna have to compensate with money. That's, or you have
Well,
to have somebody strong enough to come in the interview and say, "I'm not putting up with your crap, and I will walk." Like, you have to have somebody with that kind of "I don't give a crap" personality to put Woody in his place and say, "Don't hire me if you're not going to be okay with that. But this is going to be my team, not yours." I mean, that's a pipe dream probably, and it might not be very realistic, but it's what we need. We need someone to come in and say, we're not going to play games.
yeah, because the best coaches are the ones who come up with game plans for each and every game that are different and specific for the opponent and particular to the personnel that you have on your team. Instead of just having the system we run, and we just run the same system, and we never have any deception or concealment. We just run what we run and do what we do, and this is who we are, and we just keep doing the same things over and over because, God forbid, we want to coach somebody. Um, it's annoying. It's annoying to watch. And it's never going to work in a league. Like, this league now is a league of ubiquitous tape. The tape is everywhere. I have tape. You have tape. Your grandmother has tape. Everybody has the tape. Everything you do is instantly known and studied by your
Mhm.
opponents the minute you do it. So to just run the same vanilla bullshit every single time, it's going to get exposed. You have to come up with new stuff all the time, new
Yeah.
little wrinkles and variations off of what you do. So that's the type of people we need, and those type of people are very expensive. And I don't know if Woody Woodpecker is going to pay for them. He's too
Mhm.
busy reading Jets X Factor and checking out the Madden ratings.
Luca, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it. You say you love Brees, but why are we not using Allen for the fourth down? Exactly. And the worst part about it is, Luca, is it's the same thing. We've said this all season. This is not the first time we've asked this question. They actually addressed it and said, "We'll take a long, hard look." Obviously, he didn't look hard enough
They took a
because
look.
it's just the same thing, week after week after week. Maybe they don't want to win, Frankie. I don't know, but there's
I
the
think
fact
they're
that
just stubborn. I think they're stubborn. It's just a lack of desire to actually coach people up. And we'll just stick with our system. We'll do what we do.
right, yeah, yeah. I do think that um I think that whether or not Aaron Rodgers is willing to restructure and take a pay cut so he doesn't crush we don't have to take a hit in 2026. I do believe will have an impact on whether or not he's our quarterback next year. I could be wrong about that, but I just think that if he truly says, "I'll restructure my contract," it makes it easier for us. I think that does weigh in on if I'm a GM, it weighs in on me because I'm thinking, well, if he restructures in a way that he doesn't hurt me in 26, why not make him the bridge quarterback? So I think it's going to have a big impact whether or not he restructures or not in their decision.
Yeah, and you can make
Yeah,
if you want him back, you just make the case. Look, if you want to play with Devontae, you both need to restructure. If you two want to play together, the
yeah,
dynamic duo,
yeah.
21 personnel. We're in the pony package with Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis on the field right now. Oh, there's a little trickery.
Regan doesn't see you playing the grand piano. I don't know if he believes your background to him.
It's a fake. It's definitely a fake background.
All right, so what's going on here? We got second down. Looks like we're moving the ball a little bit. Maybe we could actually get into the second half with a lead. Can you imagine we get out of the first half and still have a lead?
I guess leading in games is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, as angry as we are, about everything that happened, the missed extra point may have swung a little bit of momentum back our way, and a nice scoring drive here. Again, we just seem to give the Rams fits.
Well, again, their defense is not
Look at this.
amazing.
Beautiful play. Was that Garrett? No, that was Devontae. Devontae is just woken up. The Rogers Devontae thing is just alive and well now. I mean, this is when we imagine we got this when we first got him.
Well, the problem is that Adams has had to adjust to being the Z receiver. It took him a couple of games. He's normally the X. But now that he is, I mean, he came out with a quote this week that said, he's never seen teams have so much attention as he has that Garrett Wilson gets. Like he's never seen teams put so much attention on somebody as they do with Garrett, which says a lot considering the length of his career.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it's a dynamic. If you really want to be optimistic, and let's say Rodgers continues to play well all the rest of the games, you could say, wow, this is not a terrible situation from the off. The defense totally needs to be redone, in my opinion,
Yeah.
but the offense is not, too bad. So this is 12 personnel.
So Will is going as far as saying that prime Brady could not overcome the bad coaching that we're seeing for the Jets. I don't know about that, but I mean, it certainly wouldn't have been 7 Super Bowls, probably. So we could at least probably all agree on that. Where's GreenBean? We get that question a lot today. GreenBean is in transit with his family on vacation in Florida. Hopefully we'll get to say hello to him. Maybe he'll call in later. That possibility is very, very open and very, very real. Let's see. We are at the 35-yard line. 3rd and 4. Big play here, Frankie. Look, it's definitely 2 plays. Like we definitely have 2 plays here. We're not trying to kick a field goal. There goes Rodgers. Oh, he's staying behind the line of scrimmage. And incomplete. There's a flag. Let's see. It's probably holding. I would guess holding. What about you, Frankie?
It's got to be holding. What is Rodgers doing?
He's arguing with someone on the Rams sideline? That's very unusual, right?
Holding on Olu, damn it.
Damn, he gets one every game.
But when a guy's scrambling, I mean,
yeah. He also scrambled to that side. He may have given Olu may have had no choice. It was either that or Rodgers gets crushed. I don't know.
Yeah. So that was against Jared Verse right there, and not good, but Verse is a very good player, so I got to give him credit.
I don't know. It didn't look as disgusting or blatant as I've seen holds, but
it wasn't terrible, but not good.
So now we're in 3rd and 14. Very different situation. I'd love to get within 5 yards of a first down, so then we can go for it on 4th. So if they're willing to give us 10 yards, let's take it. It is taking him forever to get rid of the ball. Forever. There's a penalty. Hopefully it's a roughing. Hopefully it's a defensive. Hopefully it's on the defense. It's hard to imagine a hold in such tight a space from where that flag went. And they're showing Fisk. So maybe it's on them. Offset. I see somebody in the chat saying offset. Well, you got to credit the offensive line, I guess. I mean, our offensive line was, what did he have? 5 seconds, 6 seconds. I mean, I don't know how our offensive line can do any better than that. Is Olu still in the game? Uh-oh.
Why wouldn't he be?
Someone said that was limping or he's hurt. I don't know.
No, he's fine.
Okay. He's fine. All right. There he is. He's fine. He's there. Remember, I can't see, so.
Yeah.
So we're back. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, the guy Rogers standing back there for 25 minutes. I mean, you can't expect the O line to, hold up. I think Simpson had that dude stonewalled, but then Rogers just took forever. So that's on our receivers and or Rogers. Either the receivers weren't getting open or Rogers couldn't find them.
Yeah.
So, probably going to be a mixed bag when we look at the tape, but I would say
And
probably not
Anthony
terrible.
says it looks like it was Simpson who came up hurt at first. We know that Simpson's one tough cookie, so and if he's still in the game, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Yeah, well, why didn't he roll out of the pocket? Old Aaron Rodgers that we've seen in past years would have rolled out of the pocket on that. I've never seen him. I mean, he looked like Joe Flacco on that play. I mean, I've never seen him stand in a pocket so long and not roll out.
He just made a decision. I don't know. He's been moving pretty good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He decided to stay in there. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. So that's one of those things that kind of stat line looks bad for your offensive line. And it's so unfair because that was if you gave a quarterback that much time every rep, you're the greatest offensive line in the history of the NFL. Like that just doesn't happen. Can you imagine a quarterback getting that much time every rep? It would just eat teams alive. But I don't know, something went wrong with the coverage or just sometimes it's the progression. Guys are getting open, but in the progression that he's looking, everywhere he looks at that moment, they're covered. Then they're getting open, but he's at a different part. It's more complicated than people think. He's not seeing the entire field at the same time. So sometimes that's just what happens.
I would say let's run why don't we ever run screens? Do we know how to run a freaking screen? Let's run a wide receiver screen with Malachi here. A nice safe play, get some yards, kick a field goal and move on. Like why do we have to overcomplicate everything? Not everything has to be a bomb, to Devontae Adams for 500 yards. How about a little screen to Malachi? Let's go.
Yeah. Mark F comes. He says, "Is there a protection stat for teams?" Unfortunately, not. That's why you have to look at film, though. That's why you have to look at that. You have to trust your eyes. You can't make every opinion based on a box score. You just can't, because you could see. We all saw that. We all know the offensive line did their job and did a great job. But in a box score, it looks like a sack and it looks like a failure of the offensive line. So here we are in the 6-6 game coming out of the 2-minute warning. It's 3rd and 14. We need some type of positive yards here. And you're right. Why not a screen play, screen or a double reverse to Corley, do something. So here we go. Rodgers, quick throw, quick pass. Looks like some good yardage there. That's what we wanted. A nice, safe, sure play. Got himself. You can now you have the decision of the field goal, or do you want to go for it on 4th and 3?
Conditions are no one can kick the ball.
Yeah, I mean, we got some really. It looks like he's going to go for it because it doesn't look like field goals are going to play a factor in this game. So I know people are saying take the field goal. Obviously, we have no faith in our kicker in this weather because they are lining up to go for it unless he's trying to pull them off sides. Going old school.
Could be. Nope.
Let's see. Drops back. He's in the pocket. He throws it. Looks like a first down. And there's a flag. You got to be kidding me. Who's that against, Frankie?
Declined.
I hate it when the flags just... Oh, it's against them. We're going to decline it? All right. Yes. There you go. All right. First down, guys. First down. Looks like we can make sure they don't get the ball back. And the only thing left to do is make sure we get a lead, get some points, go into the half with a lead. Not what I expected. Like I did not expect to go into the locker room with a lead, and it looks like we have an opportunity to do that. I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, but wow. Even tie score is a surprise to me. I'm going to be honest, Frankie. I had us losing this game big. So,
Well, plenty of football left to be played.
yeah, there is. Running play. Looks like we're making sure that they're not going to have time left on the clock. So I don't hate it. We do have our timeouts left, right? So we do have the option to run at this point. And that's a nice run in the red zone. 5 yards is a good run in the red zone. Happy with it.
On first down, a run of 5 yards is good at any time.
Yeah, sure. I mean, harder in this part of the field, right? It gets tougher and tougher, but I love it.
We got to get rid of this guy named the Lizard.
Oh my God! And why is it then put in Curly? Like at what point? Ehrlich is just like Saleh. He's so weak. Like just have a set, grow a set. The guy is dropping passes. You bench him, especially when you're 4 and 10.
And Corley can block too. The one thing he was doing when he was in there for the limited time, he was blocking, and that's an advantage you get with Lazard allegedly. Mr. We lead the league in drop passes,
Yeah, he's absolute trash, Lazard. He's done. Like, forget about it. Take him out. He's in his head again. He's back to last year's Lazard. Lose a Lazard. Watch, he gets a touchdown pass now. By the way, that's if you want to find a way to get Lazard to do well, you get Jets Chaos to talk bad about him.
Then we take another delay of game. How many delays of game are we going to have?
I don't know.
Okay, Are we going to lead the league in delays of game also because Rodgers can't, look at something and just run it?
Yeah. I mean, you just give away. You completely look what Lazard and that delay game just did. We were 2nd and 5. Now we're 3rd and 11. I mean, it's like it literally controls the game. The impact is like it's a tremendous impact. What can he do? What can he do? Oh, look at that! Look at that! What a play! That's got to be Hall, right? Yeah, you see, that's the thing that Breece Hall has. That I love the younger running backs, but that's what Breece Hall brings. When you say, well, people saying, "Oh, he lost it, he did." That's the special thing about Breece Hall. You get him into any kind of space, Frankie, and that's what we see.
Explosive. I was looking at explosives this morning on my show. I did an analysis of the number of explosives we've had this year. And as I was looking at the data, going back to all the games, the explosives were like Hall, 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 Garrett Wilson, Hall, 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 Lazard, Hall. Then we got Devontae Adams, and he started having some explosives. But Hall is a very explosive player, and people, I think, started to forget that when he was having his knee issues. But yeah, he's explosive, man.
Yeah. That was great.
We just need to figure out how to get these play calls in quickly.
Is the Rams poor tackling because of the cold weather? Are they, are they going to have, they're going to get yelled at in the locker room for sure. That's not going to be a pretty scene in the locker room. I can tell you that much.
Well.
So here we go. 1st and goal from an 9.5 yard line. Little out pass to the running back, and boom, all the way to the 2 yard line. Just like that.
He's playing well. It seems to me Jared Verse is playing well versus Olu, but Olu's holding his own. I bet you it's going to be a mixed bag when we look at the tape. But, that's going to happen. Verse is a good player.
Look, you got
to look at number 8 there.
You got a rookie tackle that's like 6-7 games into his career going against that kind of edge. I'll take this, that give and take battle. Yeah, you can't expect him to just dominate versus the entire game. What you don't want to see is what you saw in the Giants with their guy, who they drafted out of Alabama, who got completely dominated, and guys were getting multiple sacks against them and running around them. So I'm very happy with Olu and what I think he's going to eventually become.
It's a good test. It's also a good test. I mean,
yeah, it shows he could play with the best, right? He could play with elite, great high level talent. Second and goal. We're behind, guys. I'm behind. Frankie's not. And we got Rogers back, looking for a receiver. They're saying it looks like incomplete. Is he hurt? Uh-oh. No, he's up. He's fine. Devontae couldn't hold on. I couldn't see. Frankie, whose fault was that?
Devontae should have had it.
Okay.
Now, Olu held up that time on that rep against Verse. So I think what we're going to see on the tape is a mixed bag, which, like you're saying, is fine. Like one rep, Olu wins. One rep, Verse wins, So that's going to be something I think we'll probably take a look at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want. Yeah, it looks like from what I can see with my bad eyesight, Devontae Adams needs to come up down with that ball.
I mean, he had two hands on it.
Yeah. Not saying I can't see enough to say, oh, it's easy, but like he should have had it.
It's not an easy catch, but
Yeah. We're not paying him to only make easy catches.
They were paying him like one of the best wide receivers in football. He's got to catch that. That's just the way it is.
I think Brandon sums it up here. He says, hard catch, but making hard catches is why you were in the league. And I think that's the best way to sum it up, right? I mean, that's why you're in the league. That's why you're in the game. That's why you're starting.
But that's why red zone is hard, right? Because the defenders are compressed. You don't have the whole field. So you have to make jumping, leaping, crazy catches like that because it's harder in the red zone,
Yeah. Juggalo is a Florida State guy, so he knows Verse really well.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's a monster.
Yeah. We liked him coming out. There's no doubt we liked him.
Are we going to kick a field goal?
Oh, man. I think they have to take the points. I think you have to take the points.
Yeah.
At least the clock, we didn't leave any time for them. So take the points, take the 3 points into halftime. There's some things you might be frustrated, but overall, it's amazing. If we make this field goal, it's incredible that we're up in this game. I mean, we have to acknowledge that. It's pretty awesome and amazing that we're up in this game. It's not something I expected. Did he make it, Frankie? I think he did. It looks like he did. Even as blind as I am, it looks like he made it. Yeah. Okay.
We had 3 drives the whole half. 3.
And we scored a touchdown, and a field goal. And then we had one ugly little segment, this one little brain fart by our coaching staff where it came apart. So, I mean, look, if we score touchdown or field goal in 2 out of 3 drives, 9 to 10 points every 3 drives, we're a great football team. So, overall, you got to look at the big picture too. There's some things to be upset about. Lazard is definitely the big X, the guy who needs to sit. I think that nobody would argue that. And I think that we got to be a little bit smarter on offense with some of our decision-making and the use of our personnel.
Yeah. 4 penalties on that drive. We had a 16-play drive, mostly in 11, but a couple of plays in 21. We had 4 penalties on that drive. No bueno.
It was only 3 drives. But that we know. Yes, we know why it was only 3 drives, but it was also only 3 drives because of our offense. We also ate up a lot of
drives. Yeah, both teams are basically eating up the clock in these long drives, and so
Yeah.
I mean, we really should have had 2 touchdowns. Devontae should have caught that for sure.
This is kind of this. I mean, I don't know about the firing Boyer, but I mean, definitely the Xavier and Lazard days have to end. Like, we need a new punt returner. And
This is the tricky part. Let's say Devontae doesn't come back and Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back. Then we're going to cut Lazard and X, and who's going to play wide receiver? Like,
yeah, no, I'm saying,
we got
yeah,
nobody. We got
right,
Garrett
yeah,
Wilson's getting quadruple teamed on every play, ladies and gentlemen.
right,
Like,
right.
we need somebody. So that's why, in a certain sense, it'd be good if Rodgers and Adams came back. But we got to get rid of Lazard. I mean, this guy.
I mean, look, if Devontae doesn't come back and Lazard and Rodgers doesn't come back, do you know how much money we're paying those three players in dead cap space? It's ugly as F. I mean, like you talk about, Lazard is going to cost us $6 million. Devontae is going to cost us a few million, and then you got, if Rodgers doesn't come back, that's $49 million. You're looking at about $60 million dead cap hit.
But on the other hand, people get so riled up about the cap hits. But look at what the Steelers are doing this year. Yeah. Look at what the Broncos are doing this year.
With an
awful cap situation, they're still winning and they're still going to the playoffs. Why? Because of coaching. Because those coaches know how to get the most out of what they have. Give me something I can work with, and I will work with it, and I will make it work. And that's what they're doing. And so it's not the best situation, but if we could just get the damn coaches in here who can get the most out of their whatever you give them for the most part, then, you don't have to try and get elite players everywhere. That's right. That's the other part of it.
If you keep everyone else, if we lose those three players, if Rodgers doesn't come back and we take that dead cap hit, you're right, though. A great coach, good role players in the holes that are created. We might be able to skimp into the playoffs. We might. I don't know. We won 7 games the last 2 seasons, being pretty horrible, with a good offensive line and, making some adjustments to the defense to make them a little bit more respectable. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But even if we don't, the bright spot is we get a clean slate for 2026. But I'm not going to give up on the 25 season. Like, I'm still going to hope, and I'm still going to be there in the beginning of the year, hoping that a great coaching staff can find a way. Because like you pointed out, in Pittsburgh, they find a way every year to be competitive.
Yeah. I mean, even if they have Kenny Pickett, if they have Roethlisberger, if they have Russell Wilson, everybody thought Russell Wilson was the worst player in the history of mankind. And then all of a sudden now he's winning. And by the way, Kenny Pickett is into the game with the Eagles. So something happened to Jalen Hurts, so that's big news in the NFL because the Eagles are one of the very best teams in football. So if their quarterback's hurt, that's big news. So I don't know if it's serious or not, but Kenny Pickett's in the game. But yeah, they went with Kenny Pickett, and they still win. They go with Ben Roethlisberger, they still win. They go with Mason Rudolph, they still win. You make the most out of what you got. So some years you're going to have elite players all over the place. Some years you're not, but you got to be able to win no matter what. And the Panthers are beating the Arizona Cardinals at halftime, amazingly. So maybe some hope for Bryce Young, although his stats don't look great, but they are winning 20-10. So we'll see if Kyler Murray and his usual late season swooning continues. I'll take a bio break as Jeremy talks about BetUS.
So, guys, I don't know if you know this, but BetUS is the sponsor of the Reaction Party. They have been pretty much all year. So we are in their gratitude for sponsoring this show, for sponsoring the Watch Reaction Party. I just realized, I can't believe, maybe some of you try to tell me that we still have the Thursday Thick of It graphic up. I apologize for that. But I am happy to say that if you have not signed up or enrolled in a gaming application, or you are not signed up with BetUS, this is the time to do it. Because if you use the promo code YouTube, all capitals, 150, if you use that promo code, you get 150% sign-up bonus. So for those of you who are not good at math, I think I'm okay with math. What that means to me, what that tells me, that if I was to sign up, and I don't know what the conditions are or what the maximum amount is, but the math is, like, for easy money and easy numbers to understand, is that if I opened up an account for $100, based on this, they are going to give me $150 on top of my 100 to gamble with. That's how I read it. Go and look at the site. Hopefully that's the way it is and I'm reading it correctly. Find out about it, look into it, download the app BetUS. If you are someone who likes gaming, if you're using a different app, why not give BetUS a chance? That other app you're using is not giving you 150% sign-up bonus. So why not just shift over to them and use them? They offer all those kind of fun things. You could bet on the game. You could bet on the point, with the point spread, the money line. You could bet on who's going to score more points in which half. How many field goals are there going to be? Under, over on this and that. All these fun things you could bet on. You could just have a good time. You don't have to, mortgage your house. You could sit there. It's $100. You do it in the beginning of the year. Do it responsibly. Have fun. Play all year. Make the games a little bit more interesting. What do you got to lose? You got money to lose, but you don't have to make it that much. You could be in charge of how much you lose, and you're getting free money. It's free money. It's free money to gamble with. You're gambling. You could gamble with their money. So check it out. Go get the app, BetUS. Again, they are the sponsor of the channel. We appreciate BetUS. We are powered by BetUS, and that's why we're here. It's not why we're here. We'd be here anyway. I'm not going to go that far, but I will say they are our sponsor. We do appreciate them, and you should check them out. And that is enough of that. We are back. I am back. And let me try to take some. If you guys have any questions, opinions, you want to share opinions, just throw it in there. And let's do it. We got halftime. We got nothing else to do but talk. So we'll do that. I'm going to, in the meantime, as I'm talking, I'm going to be looking over here. I'm going to be trying to figure out if I could fix that Thursday Thick of It thing and change it. It's weird because I don't see it as a banner. I might have to, I guess I have to change the whole background, Frankie. I don't know. I use one background. I'm an old man when it comes to technology. So
people should just pretend that it says Sunday Thick of It.
Yeah.
Or Sunday Thin of It.
I'm looking. Let's see if I can find it.
Ohio Jets fan 1 wants to know, should we pay DJ Reed?
Here we go. I found it. I did it, everybody. I got the right background. I missed, the thing that bothered me about it was I missed my little Frankie in the corner. Look at that Frankie in the corner up there, having a great time, looking like a badass. The old bearded Frankie.
Chaos, people want to know, should we pay DJ Reed? What about that?
I like CJ Reed a lot. I honestly don't think we're going to, because I think one of the reasons, or one of the things you have to take advantage of when you draft well and develop well, certain players, is to lower your cost. And I think that Eccles is not a guy that is going to get a lot of attention around the league, so we're going to be able to probably sign him for a lot cheaper. And then Stiggs actually, I know he gave up a couple of passes last week and everybody jumped on him and said Stigler stinks. His PF grades weren't bad for a first start of his career. Don't you think he did okay, Frankie?
Yeah, he did okay. I mean, you got to hope he develops. I would look at Brandon Eccles as someone to sign because, again, he could be a value. And then between Eccles, so like you hope Eccles becomes your starter, and then Stiggers can become a more prominent backup, for example. And that allows him to, remember, he didn't go to college at all. So he has a lot of development to do. Can he do it? We'll see. Some guys develop, some guys don't. But yeah, I mean, that's the way I would do it. I would try to save some pennies with Eccles. Maybe I can get him, at a much lower cost and a similar, production as Reed. Though I hate to lose DJ Reed. I love him very much. I want him on my team, but we just don't have the money for something like that. When we could get an Eccles and we have a Stiggers and we have a JBC and we have some backups, and we can always, of course, draft somebody in the middle rounds who, we might eventually see as someone to take over. So, yeah, I just think it's going to come down to we're not going to allocate the funds to that. We also have a lot to do on the defensive line, depending again on what kind of a defense we're running, either on the defensive line or the linebacking crew. We got to sign Sherwood for sure. I would also try to sign Tyler Conklin for a low dollar deal. He's not putting up big numbers, and we know he's better than his numbers. So you could probably get him at a low cost. I think of somebody like a Mo Alley Cox makes a lot of sense because he can block somebody, and probably saying goodbye to Jeremy Ruckert. I don't think that has worked out.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Justin Jett says that he would pay Reed. So that's a popular opinion. I love
oh
Reed
yeah,
too. I love Reed too. Don't get me wrong. We
yeah, I
see a
love
lot of the
DJ
guys in the
Reed.
chat love Reed. We all love him. It's just a matter of. But are you asking me if I want them to re-sign Reed or if I think they're going to sign Reed? Because I think those are two different things. I just have a feeling they won't. But what do I know? We don't know who the GM is, right, Frankie? I mean, so we have no
Yeah.
idea what the philosophy of the GM or the new coach is going to be.
Yeah, and we'll see. I mean, maybe they do figure out a way to allocate the funds. I mean, everything has to be looked at in a big picture. It's one thing to focus on DJ Reed, but what happens with Aaron Rodgers and what happens with Devontae and all the other guys who you're cutting and who you're keeping has an impact on your cap situation, and then you got to allocate the rest of the funds accordingly. Um, so you have to look at the holistic picture. That's the other thing that people rarely do. But the bottom line is, I would love to keep DJ Reed. I want him on the team. I think he's fantastic and amazing. Um, but it's just going to come down to how do we allocate the funds that we do have.
Yeah. So yeah, we need a new tight end. I agree with that too. I don't know. Yeah, we're getting a new coach. So
Yeah.
that's gonna have an impact on the personnel. I'm sure the GM and the coach, hopefully, when they're both hired, are gonna have some type of relationship and some kind of conversation where the coach goes in and says, "Well, this is what I like to do. This is what our defensive coordinator is going to do or wants to do, and this is our personnel, and these are the type of players we need, and this is what we have." And and you work as a team to figure out. Basically, it's like a restaurant, right? You get a new chef, and the chef is going to tell you, these are the ingredients I need. You hired a top chef that you thought I was a world-renowned chef. Well, you don't have turnips in this kitchen, and I really need turnips to make my dishes. So, that's the way it's got to look and be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, so I mean that's the thing is like all of this like right now we would normally be talking about the draft and figuring out who we're going to get and who the free agents are, and we can't really do that until we know the GM and the head coach.
I remember Johnny. Johnny is back. Johnny, I don't know. You kind of like I feel like I haven't seen you a lot, but I've seen you lately, so it's good to see you back. Appreciate the $10 super chat. That's awesome. Good on you. Johnny and I have a connection. We both were in different roles. We're at the University of Stony Brook at one point many years ago for both of us. He says, guys, and he's in Palm Springs right now, so he's probably enjoying some much nicer weather than the people at the Jet game. Guys, with a decent kicker, we're 7-7 now. Still not good enough, but minus Lazard, we'd be better. But this D is shit. Costs more games than anything. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, I don't know what the exact count is officially, but we'd have a better record if we had a real kicker. There's no question about it. It would be much better than it is now. And then when you think of a better coach coming in, getting a better kicker, who knows? It looks like that we got the ball and we're back in play now. So, we got Aaron Rodgers drop back, throw in, start with looks like a completion for an almost first down.
That is not a completion. It's incomplete. Intended target was Kenny Yeboah.
Oh, Yeboah.
Threw it into double coverage. He was double covered though, so
yeah. That's going to break GreenBean's heart. Johnny, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. And so we got a 2nd and 10. It would be nice if we could take advantage of getting the ball back and having the ball last, and right now be able to put together a drive. What do you say, Frankie?
Yeah, it would be nice. All +9 flag. We got a flag on the play.
It's going to be a holding, right?
God's sake, man.
It's going to be a holding, and that kills the drive. Referees decide to come in and say, we're going to call the holding now and just end the drive for the Jets. And that's how fast referees can dictate a game. So they're saying it's number 75.
It's kind of ticky-tack, but he's got that left hand across his body. They're going to call that every time.
Yep. I mean, that's just something you got to learn when you're in this league. You just have to learn.
It's hard too because these dudes move around and you got your hands like this, and then they move, and then your hands on the outside. Uh-oh.
I personally feel it's a weak call. I don't like that type of holding at all. And I don't like that they decide when not to call it. So Rodgers runs with the ball for his life, gets back some of the yards, maybe makes the third down a little bit more manageable. What, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13? It's still going to be pretty, still not a great situation for us. Well, I don't think there's been a defensive penalty called on them that has given us an automatic first down. I think the one that we declined. So it feels like all this great coverage where nobody's open, but yet never a hold on them, which seems awkward to me and hard to believe that with our receivers, they're not being held at all. Aaron Rodgers can't find anyone again, but this time he rolls out. He directs traffic. And did he get the first down? I think he did. Wow.
How many yards in the chat if he catches this?
I think
it should be.
Are they going to review it?
No. How many yards in the chat? How many yards on that one? I had it for 20, but
they are saying that was a 19-yard gain. That was
19.
a big play. That was a big play. Big time catch, right? I can't really see. Yeah, nice that's catch. a big time catch. All right. Garrett Wilson, baby. So Phil Adams confirms that it's 19 yards. See, I know what I'm talking about. Alexia says, Tony says, unleash the king. I don't know if you know this, Frankie, but Tony Alexia was a very big Strevler fan. Very big.
We need that. Yeah, we'll bring back the Strevelovsky. He's the missing key to this whole thing.
Remember that game? I think you were there with us. That Thursday night game, I think. That we were
so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
He couldn't even throw it. This is 12 personnel. He couldn't even throw the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. So 12 personnel on 2nd and 1. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I don't mind when we run out of this, and we do.
That's a first down.
Wow, great fall at the end, huh? The way he fell and spun forward. It's nice.
Yeah, well, maybe we learned short yardage, go with the big boys. In this case, Davis. A little, not that he's bigger than Brees, but go with the pounders.
Yeah.
Brees is pretty big himself, but he's the home run hitter.
Hey, Friday on Jets Chaos. Coming up Friday at 5 p.m. We're going to be looking at doing live film study of Milroe, the guy on Alabama, that kid. We're going to look at what are we going to do?
That's why, see, these days, these kids are learning that they don't get developed in the big leagues. Like, development happens in college. And now that they're getting paid, you see, no reason to come out. Like, they can make millions in college and develop so that by the time they get to the league, they don't get Zach Wilsoned or, Mac Jonesed or whatever you want to say.
I think Billy SBC is making a good point here. Like, we cannot not call out the incredible pass blocking that our offensive line is putting together. And this is not a bad defensive line the Rams have. This is a very good, it's their young defensive line. They've been a strength for this team. This is the offensive line that we're moving forward with. This is right now the engine of our future. So this, if you're going to be happy about anything, you really got to appreciate the way the offensive line is playing, knowing that it's always an advantage to, we're going to run back at least 4/5 of this offensive line. So that feels really good. So it looks like 3rd and 1. They didn't give us the first down. We'll see what we do here. We got 2 plays to get it.
Now that's the kind of play you should be doing.
I love it. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we want. That's the kind of creativity we want.
Because it's 12 personnel and you think, okay, we're going to run Brees right up the middle, right? Here he goes, play action. Boom, here he goes up the middle. Nope, sorry. Whoop. That's what you want.
Yep.
That's what you want.
Reception. Conklin with the reception for a first down. Guys, everything we're doing is positive. Like we're already took 5 minutes off the clock. We are moving the ball slowly down the field. We're making third down conversions. We're doing. I mean, this is all good stuff. If you're on team bringing Rodgers back, right? If you're saying let's run it back with as many of this offense as possible, this is supporting that in every way. This is saying fix the defense. Definitely some repairs to do on offense. No question about it. We need a new tight end. There's a little bit of repairs to do, but man, it's the defense that we need to fix. Good coaching, repair the defense, and we might we might be okay here in the future.
Only thing that really annoys me is 14 can't get on the damn field.
Yeah. Yeah, that's annoying. Look at this beautiful play. Beautiful run. There's a lot of people doing their jobs right now behind the scenes, right? When a play like that works, it's not just as simple as it looked. It means that everybody did their job really, really well, right?
Yeah,
so we suckered in the defensive line, like well schemed play, credit to Downing on it, but also perfectly executed by all of our guys.
I will say 88, Yabo is getting a lot of snaps, interestingly.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're doing a lot of 12. We're doing a lot of 12 personnel on this drive.
Mm-hmm. So E-Bogey comes in and he's celebrating 20 months a member. And he's saying when GreenBean is not here, the Jets look like a playoff team. When he's here, they suck balls. Next year, 20-0, baby. GreenBean for GM. I love it. I love it. Thanks for being a member of the channel, E-Boogie. Thanks for being a supporter of all of us. You've supported all of us for so long. You know we love you. You're awesome, dude, and great comment. So that's a flag against us. What is that?
I hate this friggin' referee too. This referee is like Mr. Flags.
What was the flag?
Illegal man downfield, which is also a penalty I hate.
Oh, and that happens to rookies all the time with plays like this.
I hate that. They should just take it out of the rule book. It's so stupid. Like, what advantage did we get there? Why is it even illegal? I'm going to make a video
that is just the dumbest call. It's such a bad call. You're right. It
is in the rule book, but they have to call it. It is in the rule book, but I would take it out personally.
But it's zero impact on the play, right? And if you call zero impact on the play, you could call holding every single play on every offense.
Now we're just doing flags every play.
Another flag. This is just unbelievable. I mean, the referees they just decide we're going to take over this game now. We see it happen so often.
And again, downfield.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so now you got to say poor coaching, right? I mean, this is just ridiculous. When it's the same penalty twice in a row, that's
what do you want the coaches to do?
I don't know. There's got to be a way to.
That's just Morgan. I mean, Morgan just left early.
But coaching them on when we run this play, you got to be careful not to do this.
I mean, I'm sure they do.
I mean, it's who else do you blame when it's both of you?
You blame freaking Morgan. You blame the damn player.
Yeah, all right.
God damn it, Alan. Look at.
But it's also that we get these kind of bad mental penalties just constantly. They never go away. They've been chasing us around. I just want to see a clean game. I could handle losing because the other team is more talented and just simply beats us. But it's
I'll tell you something else, though. I'll tell you something else. John Simpson needs to get a contract extension. Look at this guy.
There's no question. He should already have it. He should already have his extension.
Get in their faces. That's what you do. You step on my teammate, I put you in the dirt. You understand?
Yeah.
You stand up for your teammates, man.
We absolutely.
I'll always say we need more of those type of guys on this squad. That's what we need.
We absolutely.
Stand up.
We absolutely
teammates.
We absolutely must extend him. There's no question about it.
And we got to get more like him.
Yeah.
That's the kind of competitive spirit that we need.
What is going on? This offense just shut down.
Well, see, like the O-line, it all comes back to the O-line, right? Like they were performing flawlessly, and then everything's moving. They start committing penalties, and everything moves back. It's all on the big boys.
Yeah.
It's all on the big boys. It's all about the big boys up front.
Apparently, we're having trouble with our audio, but I don't know if it's our ends. I don't know if there's anything we could do about it. I hear you fine. I don't know if it's a YouTube thing. I don't know what's going on, but everybody's saying bad audio. Can you hear us, guys? So we have a super chat. Well, it looks like we're just conceding. I say go for it here on 4th and 3. If it weren't for flags, drop passes, and kicking, where would we be? We'd be an excellent team. I think we'd be a much better team if we had the Greg Zuerlein of last year, and didn't have as many drop passes. I think, what could we say? Yeah, I mean, but these are all fixable things, right? These are all things that can be fixed. Thanks so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Here we go on 4th down. We are going for it.
Pass.
Oh, wow. And there we go. We walk away empty-handed. But really, it was the penalties. I mean, it's hard to watch. It's hard to swallow. I mean, you walk down the field, you eat up all this clock, you walk away with no points because of penalties.
That's a really bad pass right there.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't understand why A-Rod's so bad at those fades.
I mean, he's having overall a very good game, but it's just unfortunately his passes that he's missing, the timing of his misses are what's bad. I mean, he's 20 of 28, he's 71%. He's already at 200 yards. He's, over 7 yards per attempt. 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, a 103 QB rating. It's just the timing of some of his bad passes. It's unfortunate. But I mean, I'm going to remember this drive more as the bigger issue in this drive, in my opinion, was the penalties. It was the penalties that put us in this bad situation. So we are we ever going to clean that up? I mean, is it ever going to happen? The penalties got to be cleaned up. Because we're physically beating them, right? Our offensive line is beating them. It's the penalties.
Yeah, and you see when the big boys are playing well, everything functions right, and we're good. When they start screwing up, everything backs up. We had a holding on AVT. We had a legal downfield that was 74. That's going to hurt. Now that's 2 penalties on Olu. That's going to hurt his grade. Illegal downfield was Morgan on the next play. So we had 2 illegal downfields in a row. It's no bueno.
Will is saying the defense tipped it. Will really loves A-Rod. I mean, like, to a point where it's a little scary.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Those fades have to be on the outside shoulder. So the reason that's a bad pass is when you throw a fade, it has to be on the outside shoulder where only your guy can get it and not the defender. So that's why it's a bad pass.
Yeah. I mean, when you like a guy, it's okay to love a player. And I'm all about bringing A-Rod back if he continues to play at this level, because I think overall he's having a fine game. But when you get to the point where you defend everything he does, dude, like, you have no credibility. You're just an A-Rod truther. Like, you got to be honest about the good and the bad. And I am. I mean, I think overall he's good. He's had a lot of good plays. But the reality is that wasn't a good pass. And you have to be able to be okay with that. Your guy is, like, you got to be able to take the good with the bad. That wasn't a good pass. It's just, we're watching it, but I'm not going to sit here and say A-Rod sucks. I'm not going to say A-Rod's a choker. I'm not going to say any of that. I'm going to say that I've been watching this game a long time, 40 years plus of NFL, and I've watched many quarterbacks not be or miss the fade, right? I mean, I've watched a lot of errant throws from quarterbacks, whether the name is Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or anyone else. So it's just part of the game. And it's unfortunate that the errant pass came at the wrong time.
Yeah, and A-Rod, if you asked A-Rod about it, he would say, "Yeah, I missed that throw."
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
He just missed a throw. It's just the way it is.
Right. But I'm not, I mean, but you know, I'm not going to judge a guy on one pass. You know, I'm not, obviously, we're going to look at the whole picture. You're going to see bad passes from every quarterback every game. And, you know, with the exception of, you know, there are quarterbacks that have these magical games, you know, where they're amazing, but that's few and far between. Yeah, this is we're trying. There's trying to make a joke on, you know, he's fading in age, you know, his age with the fade pass. The Rams are throwing incomplete passes, 3rd and 2. Got a chance for a stop here, Frankie. Up flag.
No.
If it's against us, I'm going to lose my shit.
Yes.
It's against us. Like, I mean, is this a little bit the referees trying to keep the Rams in this division, in this playoff race, or is it that we're guilty of all this? How can it be that the Rams are this clean and making no penalties, but we're making all these penalties?
Just need clarification. That one you could. I mean, he pulled his shoulder. I mean, you could call it. But we do get called. They're saying we have the most defensive penalties in the league. So good job, Olbrich.
They feel like soft calls, man. I'm telling you, that's Chad's
that
saying.
one you could have got away with it, but it also could have been called. This is why these penalties that are like 50-50 are just ridiculous.
And they're non-impactful calls. That's the worst part about it. You know, like the illegal players downfield, they're just non-impact. They didn't impact the play. And that's the hardest part. That's just the referees and rules. Maybe just, but you know, they are deciding when to call and when not to call penalties. And there's so much being narrated by the refs and what they call and what they don't call. It's just hard to stomach.
Every game, it does happen in every game, especially the big games, and that's why I think the rules should be clarified. We should get rid of as many rules as we can without affecting competitiveness. Like illegal man downfield, why is that a rule? I've never had anyone explain to me why that's a rule that made sense to me. They say they don't want the offensive lineman running downfield and blocking people. Why not? Why can't they run downfield and block somebody? I want to see that as a spectator. So I don't even understand the purpose of that rule. DPIs, you see it every game. They could go either way. Sometimes they get called, sometimes they don't, and there's no consistency. I think that what players and coaches want is consistency. Make it a rule so that you can consistently call it and not have so much, you know, of these 50-50 calls where it's like you could call it, you could not call it. You know, same thing with holding on the offensive lineman. You could call it, you could not call it. Sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't call it. I don't think that's a fair way to officiate a ball game of any type. So if I were them, but the NFL is like, are we really going to take on these things? Nobody's not watching the games because of this. Do we really want to, you know, take this on in the rules committee and whatnot?
It's 9-6 Jets. So amazingly enough, we're still winning. We're still leading. I think there are frustration because I find that there are lots of times that we're winning or we're in a game and it feels like we're just complaining. But I think it's because we are so much better than what we're seeing if we erase the mental mistakes. And I think that's the frustrating part.
Yeah, mental errors are annoying. That's for sure.
I just think that the way this game is going, we could be up right now by a few scores. You know, we could be up, you know, 19. If we could have had a field goal at the end of the half, we could have had a touchdown here, you know, possibly, or vice versa. You know, at the very least, we could, you know, it feels like we should have at the very least 15 points. It should be 15-6. So at the very least, if not 19-6. So it's just, you know, and by keeping these teams in these games, we get into the fourth quarter and we find a way to lose. It just feels like that's been the pattern all season long.
Sauce Gardner's not on the field.
Yeah.
Tony Adams is also out.
Rodgers was being greedy. Garrett was open in the middle, and Rodgers wants Adams to get 500. If that's true, man, that just drives me up the wall. I mean, I mean, if that's the case, like if we found out if that came out, and we found out that they were playing for record.
It just looked to me like they were the play call was a fade to the X receiver, which in that case was Adams. So I think he was just going Adams the whole way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he had one-on-one. He just figured, all right, I'll throw the fade and he'll get it.
I'm not gonna lie, I would love for A-Rod to get to 250 this game and maintain the pace for 4,000 yards. Just would love to get that monkey off our back. Like just have a quarterback have a 4,000 yard season just so we could stop talking about it. Yeah, so now it looks like we're going to get into that pattern of the Rams are going to score a touchdown, and suddenly we're going to be relying on our offense to score to get us back in the game, and that hasn't gone well for us when we've played in those situations. I see somebody dancing on the screen. Is that the Bengals?
The Matt Judon scored a touchdown for the Flacons against the Gigantes.
Did Penix throw it? Or I think someone said that he may be hurt. I'm very curious about how Penix is doing. I was a big fan of his in college.
Yeah, so the Rams are now doing what all the teams eventually do. They see how we're defending them,
mm-hmm.
and they eventually just start running it.
They say, "Wow, it really is true. This team does not change up anything."
Yeah, right.
Where the hell is Quinnen and Quincy? Quinnen is inactive today. I didn't know anything about Quincy. Do you, Frankie?
Quincy, he's playing. He's just not making an impact.
It's not doing anything. But if you're wondering where Quinnen is not playing, which makes this all that more crazy. The fact that I know everybody's pissed off at our defense and everything, but the reality is the Rams only have 6 points. They're about to put up some more, most likely. But this is without Quinnen Williams. So, holy moly. I can't wait to watch the tape back, like my face pushed against the TV so I could see. I'm wondering who's taking all these reps. Is like LT3 playing a lot, Frankie?
No, so, well, he is playing a bunch, but Solly Thomas is playing, and Kinlaw and the rest of these people.
Yeah, life without Q. That looks like a completed pass, but not enough for the first down. We're going to get a third down and an opportunity to stop the Rams. We have to hope they kick field goals. Like I don't want them to go for it because I kind of feel like if they go for it, they're going to get it. Thanks for the super chat, Ronald. We appreciate it, but that's your answer. I don't know why Quincy's so quiet today, but Quinnen is not in the game. He's inactive. So there have been no punts today. Is that true?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a punt in the beginning?
Who needs punting when you can go for it on
the first drive of the game for the Rams? They punted and they put us at the 1 yard line, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but we haven't punted today.
We have not punted.
We just go for it on fourth down.
I'd like to know what Rodgers was saying to the sideline of the Rams. What was going on with that? Did they say anything about that on TV?
Yeah, guys, if you know in the chat what happened with A-Rod and the Rams sideline, that's going to be a great story. Like I'm curious. I've never seen a quarterback spend that much time fighting, if it was fighting, with a guy on the sideline. Like that's real. I want to know what they were saying. What happens? It's just not a thing you see that often. So unless they were talking, I don't know. Unless LaFleur was giving a message to A-Rod saying, "Hey, can you say hello to the so-and-so and so-and-so in the huddle? I used to coach over there."
Michael LaFleur? Michael LaFleur, is he on the field or is he in the booth?
He's probably in the booth. Probably in the booth. Yeah.
Michael LaBooth.
The Rams, get this, Frankie, this take from Payo Time for the Rams content provider is that the Rams fan base expects LaFleur to get a head coaching job offer either this year or next year. Because based on their experience, offensive coordinators for the Rams after a couple of years go on to be head coaches.
I mean, it's so funny because when you get the quarterback, you all of a sudden become very, very smart as a coordinator,
Mm-hmm.
It's like yeah, Matthew Stafford makes you look like a genius. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. He's a LaFleur. So he's young. He comes from the McVay tree. They'll say, well, he couldn't possibly have coached Zach Wilson to be good. So that part of it is all on Zach Wilson. Then look, you give him a competent quarterback like Stafford, and he's good. But if I were him, I would not take a head coaching job. It's too soon. Like he's a young guy. I would stay under McVay as long as I could.
Yeah. They don't look like a team that's tanking to me. I don't think it doesn't look like the Jets are tanking.
The Jets.
I think they're playing their asses off right now.
Yeah, I don't think I think they're not, yeah, they're playing hard. Why would they say they're tanking?
Yeah, I don't see any evidence of that. I think we made some mental mistakes, but do you think Moses purposely ran downfield and got that penalty?
I don't think so. Yeah. But the defense is getting dinked and dunked. I mean, this is exactly what happened against Jacksonville. It's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Just dink and dunk all down the field.
So, guys, we are, we're the fourth quarter now. 3rd and 5. Quarterback completes a pass for, what are they going to do? Where are they going to mark it, Frankie? It's a first down.
It's a first down.
I can tell by the where the referee stands. That's my thing. Even
when
though
the referee says, like, when the referee on the end goes like this, tell him the chain gang to move. That's how you know.
But I'm saying, before I even saw that, I see where he literally steps. Like where he lines up. So, and then they
should challenge that. Ulbrich should challenge it. What is Ulbrich awake, or what's going on?
Why isn't he challenging it? They were fighting forward. Yeah, Ulbrich is a terrible coach. Terrible game manager. Terrible.
There's too much on his plate. I mean, you can't blame the guy. But it also tells you, like, all that stuff coming out about him being a head coach from Connor Hughes, that was all coming from the agent of Ulbrich.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, I can't tell because of my eyes, and because we're doing this show, I have to watch the game back. I can't tell. I mean, somebody on our defense is playing well. I mean, somebody's doing something okay, right? Because they're not just walking down and scoring on us every drive. They only have 6 points at the moment. So somebody's doing their job, right? Did they just show Sauce on the sideline?
Yeah, well, Sauce is not playing.
Is he hurt?
I would assume so.
Wow, I hope that's not serious. Who is in his place? Reed? Is it Reed and it's Reed and Eccles?
Should be BE,
yeah. I like that. BE. Who's in there? B is in there.
All right, now Braden McGregor is on the field here. See if he can do something.
Okay.
And we put Spinny McWhinney in the middle, which I don't like. This is a five-man front, looks like. And what the hell? Looks like a 5-man front flag.
Don't worry, everybody. I have every confidence. If your team tank, I have every confidence the Jets will find a way to lose this game. But I am still rooting for my players to play well. I want to see good things from our players. I'm still going to get annoyed when our coaches do stupid things. I can't not get annoyed at it. I think overall, I have to be fair. The coaching staff is keeping us in the game. I mean, can we give them credit for that? Do they get a credit for that? Because we're in the game, and the Rams are a team fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean,
sure. Right? I mean, it could be worse. It could be a 30-point blowout right now. I mean, it looks like we almost got a sack. And we're going to force them to kick a field goal. So, I mean, here we go. Now we're forcing a field goal. So, good job.
Amazing. Hassan Reddick almost had his first full sack as a Jet.
Yeah, he was so close. I saw him coming. Look at that. Oh, so close. So close. He must be so frustrated. Doesn't he get money?
It's amazing how much he's fallen off.
Yeah. I'm not shocked. I mean, he did nothing. I know it's only a 4-game sample, but he did 0 for the Eagles the last 4 games he was there. So I was always suspicious about like him not wanting to play before he got before he got a contract extension. Like, did he know that? Like, did he lose his desire? Did something like fall off with him? It was only 4 games, but one of them was a playoff game, and it wasn't pretty those last 4 games in Philly. I think he had like 1 assisted tackle in 4 games. So it was very ugly, his performance in Philly. But
It's interesting though. I mean, look at Bryce Huff. What has happened with Bryce Huff, for example? Exactly. Can anybody explain that?
To me, my opinion is when I watch, and I might be wrong, but Frankie, when I was watching the Eagle games and watching him, they were not lining him up as wide as we line him up. They were lining him up over the tackle, whereas we lined him up a little wide, gap 9, in the 9 gap. And I think that Huff's strength is that first move, that get off. And I think that he was losing that strength, that advantage, by being right over the tackle, where the tackle could have immediate, contact with him. I mean, that's my only guess. That's my only theory.
If that's the case, then Vic Fangio's an idiot.
Yeah, like I don't. That would be my.
Yeah, because like if you're watching the tape and you see him in the wide 9 doing what he's doing, and then you see him in practice in training camp and he can't do what you want him to do. You want him to be a 7 tech or something, and he can't do it. Move him the hell out there then.
Yeah, but I was yelling. I was yelling for it. I was telling my friend who's an Eagle fan, and maybe I don't watch all the Eagle games, so maybe they eventually did it. But I was telling him, saying, "Why aren't you lining him up wide? Like, watch him on the Jets. Like, you have to line him up wide. Like that. It's just who he is. So I don't know. I mean, they're stuck with him. They gave him a 3-year contract. I think at least 2 years fully guaranteed. I mean, they have to deal with it. But like, why wouldn't you just line him up? It makes no sense in my mind. Just line him up a little bit wider.
Put him where he excels.
Yeah,
he can basically do one thing. You might as well let him do that one thing.
Yeah,
and he's really good at it.
Yeah, I mean, we saw. Just bring him down in every passing situation. It's
such an advantage. Yeah, it's such an advantage to have a lightning quick guy like that, because even if you try to run quick game, he's still in there. He's so fast.
Yeah. I think he would still be okay if he played here.
Oh yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have changed how we used him, but he couldn't make $17 million a year, so he got his money. So you can't blame him.
Yeah. We can't. The argument is, can you really pay $17 million for a player who can only play passing?
No.
You can't pay $17 million for a specialty position.
The bigger loss for us was JFM, really. Plus,
that was
Quentin Jefferson and those guys. We got Lakey Fotu, and he just hasn't played.
I think it was the worst move of the offseason, the JFM trade. It was the absolute worst move of the offseason.
Yeah, it was just an unforced error. It was an unforced error by JD. I don't understand what he was doing.
People were supporting it. They were talking about releasing him. I got into a big argument with people when they were saying release him, and people were telling me, well, they don't need him anymore because of Reddick. They don't need him anymore. It's like he was literally, over the past 3 years combined, if you look at the last 3 years before that, he was overall over the last 3 years our best defensive lineman. He was versatile. He seals the edge. Yeah. He's a good pass rusher.
And even if he doesn't put up stats, I mean, the guy, he doesn't get a lot of sacks, but he gets a lot of pressures. He also commands double teams. He also lets other guys eat. So it's,
Yeah.
And we see what happens. I mean, it's not the only thing. The whole defensive line took a downgrade, and that's problematic. Like signing Kinlaw and thinking he was good was a big mistake also.
So Finkelstein, I don't know if there's anything behind it, but he's saying that this could end up being the quickest game in NFL history. And Brad, is that you pointing out that the game is going by really fast, or did the announcers say something where we really might set a record here? But the thing is, we might go to overtime, which will kill it.
I mean, this is the fifth. I have it as the 5th possession for the Jets offense, 5, and then we're in the 4th quarter. This is crazy.
It's crazy.
Usually get anywhere between 9, 10, 11, 12 possessions in an NFL football game. We're going to wind up with 5 or 6. It's great. Yeah. It's crazy.
Brad, just your thought, but maybe there's some truth to it. I don't know. There's some rule changes. Like, I don't know. I mean, that would be interesting though, because it is
It's
going. I'm looking at.
it's only 3:05. I mean, it's 3:05 p.m. on the East Coast, and we're into the fourth quarter. I mean, what
Yeah,
the hell?
like it might be. I don't remember a game being this fast. Like, I don't remember ever being in the fourth quarter, like into the fourth quarter, freaking 5 minutes after
We
3.
doing unprecedented things, baby. We doing all new things. We doing things nobody ever thought of doing before. That's how good we are. We're the best. We're doing things nobody even thought to do this. Nobody even had a thought to play a game this fast. And we said, screw that. We're gonna set all kind of records, man.
You know, Stafford, who played in Detroit, the friendly confines of Detroit, and in LA, apparently is not a very good Cold War quarterback because, as Billy points out, he is 10 for 15, 64 yards, 4.3 yards per attempt, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, with a big
No bueno.
47.6 QBR. Pretty
No
bad.
bueno, but he's due.
He's
Don't worry,
due.
he's due.
He's
That's
due.
all that means.
He's due. We have a way of letting quarterbacks climb back into the game in the fourth quarter. If you've been watching this season, yeah, it's with the playoffs on the line. So that's. I mean, this is a quarterback who's won a Super Bowl, though. So I mean, is it
He's
the cold?
I mean, he only has 15 attempts. I mean, they're running on us like they should, and that's chewing up the clock. Is basically what's happening.
Yeah. So Anthony is saying 1996 Chargers Colts, 2 hours and 29 minutes is the record. Well, I don't think we're going to finish within the next 22 minutes. I mean, it could happen, huh? But that's an incredibly quick game. I'm glad this game is quick. My voice is hurting. The team is out of the playoffs anyway. I mean, it's certainly better than one of those 4-hour games. Interesting. They're really giving a lot of carries to Breece Hall. 13 carries compared to only 3 for Isaiah Davis and only 2 for Allen. I guess that's an okay balance. But Isaiah Davis has 3 carries for 12 yards, 4 yards a carry, highest on the team. He also has the longest run on the team for 9 yards.
God's sake, man.
Wow, that was ugly as. Did they get the ball too? Who got the ball, Frankie? They got the ball?
They got it.
Oh, look at that. All right, guys. Well, that happened. The Rams have the balls. They recovered a fumble.
Now time to go into tank mode.
I think they'll look at it. It looked like Rodgers' knee could have been bent. It is possible. I'm looking at the chat. And it's just like that pretty much sums it up. I mean, I don't know, guys. I don't know. We do have a claim that the knee is bent. The knee is bent, somebody is claiming. It doesn't look like they're even reviewing it. But don't they automatically review turnovers? Well, it doesn't matter. They're clearly not overturning that call. So Garbage Bin says, score a touchdown and let's go home. Can they do that, Frankie? If the Rams score here, can they just say, can we just walk across the field, shake hands, and say, okay, let's at least have the record for the fastest game?
Sure. You can always forfeit.
Yeah.
It's always available.
So, guys, this is when a defense is going to collapse. I mean, our defense has held it together, and it's hard to blame a defense at this point. They're tired, guys. I mean, every defense in the NFL, even the best ones, you're going to break down. You're going to break down. We just gave them the ball back inside the 30, and they're inside the 30 yards. I can't sit here and scream and be angry at the defense. I can't. They kept us in this game. I can't yell at them. I can't sit here and say, oh, this is because of the defense. It's not. I'm not saying they're world beaters. But like, we're really going to blame the defense when the Rams score a touchdown here? Really? I mean, how many times did the defense have to hold them and keep us in this game? We have 9 points. So like, how hard can we yell at the defense? At least let's put the blame where the blame is. I mean, I don't know. I haven't decided where the blame is yet, but I can't sit here and start screaming at the defense. You want to see the TT? You want to see the tank? Oh, you want to see Taylor? Is Rodgers banged up? Is there a chance we're going to get to see Tyrod Taylor? Wow, did he just jump 4 yards in the air into the end zone? Holy cow. Holy mackerel. Did you see that play, Frankie? Wow. Looked like Williams may have been. He looked a little like he had a guilty look on his face. Yeah, he's too stubborn to stay out. Exactly. Okay, guys. Well, if you're looking for any positives, obviously Team Tank is happy. And then the positive of the loss is overall, I'm overall happy with the offensive line. Like, so from obviously Frankie will tell us, I'm sure by the end of Monday or Tuesday, how happy we should be with the Jets offensive line. But like, from my eyes are so far telling me that we could be happy with the Jets offensive line. So there's that.
Well, the penalties are going to kill them. Those penalties are going to depress
They're going to kill their scores, right?
Yeah.
Do you still get to look at their efficiency, though? Their blocking efficiency?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at it.
What do you guys say?
Defense is breaking down now, 4-3.
I agree with this. I agree that our offense has been our best defense up until then because we're eating up clock, and that. But that shows you, though. But you also have to recognize the opposite. There were a lot of times our defense took criticism when it was the opposite, right? When our offense would go 1, 2, 3 and out, 8 drives in a row, and our defense would finally break down, and then people would complain about the defense. Not this season, but in the last couple of seasons.
And plus, you got to finish when you're doing that kind of thing. Then you got to finish the drives. You can't turn the ball over on downs. You can't, you have to score touchdowns. Then you're going to do ball control. You have to finish drives. Otherwise, you let the other team come back into it. You have to score touchdowns on the other end. You can't turn the ball over on downs or on turnovers, for that matter. So,
right,
it's all well and good, but you got to finish the drives if you're going to do it that way.
So what have we played? What has our offense been doing, Frankie, as far as 11, 21, 12? What have you seen most of? Or more?
Well, it's mostly 11, as most games. It's been 11 and 12. We've used a higher percentage of 12 in this game, I would say, than we normally see. And then a couple of 21s, but that's it. 11, 12, and 21s, nothing else. We never go to 10. We never do anything fancy. It's 11 and 12. And there's been 2 21s pony package, but that's it. But more 12. We're trying to do things out of 12. When we're in 12, we should throw out of 12, I think. But it's been mostly 11.
Yeah. I mean, when you got the 12, why not sometimes you have one of the tight ends block and you have one go out for a pass?
Yeah, right. I love the plays where the tight ends are blocking, and then they slip out for a pass. Those are really good plays, in my opinion. Deception.
Yeah. Tony has had enough. I think there are some people calling for Martinez. When I see Martinez, I'm thinking that he's talking about the kid who's probably not active today.
He's not even on the 53-man roster, so you can't call in the practice squad. You can't call him practice squad. No, he's on the practice squad.
Oh, he's on the practice squad. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not elevated for this game.
Right. So he's not active. They would have had to activate him onto the 53, which they didn't do. What's the return going to be like here? Looks like a good return. That was probably Isaiah Davis, I'm guessing.
No, it was X.
Oh, that was X? Okay. What's Isaiah Davis's number?
Isaiah Davis's number is 32.
32. That's why I keep mixing them up, because the 3 and the 8, when you're freaking have cataracts, there's no difference between a 3 and an 8. Oh, I can't wait. This country, only in America, guys. 8 months. 8 months I've been waiting for cataract surgery, but
8
yet,
months.
yet America sends doctors into North Korea to do 1,000 cataract procedures for North Korea. But in America, with insurance, 8 months.
You should have gone to Mexico. Could have got it done for $150 and get a lollipop at the end.
And I could for 300, I could probably get the eye correction too, right?
Sometimes you got to do some medical traveling.
Yeah. It took when they said you might have cataracts, and they referred me to a specialist, 4 months for the appointment. And then I have the appointment 4 months to the procedure.
Well,
Just for something that simple, freaking cataracts. Unbelievable. But you're right. I should have went to Mexico.
sometimes you got to go down to the real. You got to go down south, get things done real quick. Come back up.
Yeah. And Billy said 8 months. I'm not joking, dude. When I go to North Carolina, Billy's always like, go here, review this restaurant, review that restaurant. Sometimes I can't because I can't drive at night. So when I visit North Carolina and it's later in the day, I can't go out because it'll get dark right before I go, and I can't drive in the dark because like it's that bad. So it's like I can't even go. Like I'm like grounded. But February 19th is the first one. And it'll probably be a lot better just from the one eye because they're doing the bad eye first. So
that's good. We look forward to you being able to see things again.
Well, I was thinking of bringing back an old thing, Frankie, because the left eye will still need glasses, but the right eye might not. I was thinking of that speckle thing, the one eye thing that like attached. What is it? A monocle.
A monocle.
Yeah. I was thinking of bringing back the monocle. Can you imagine me with a monocle?
That would be something. This is 21 personnel.
I might not be 2020 Ohio. I might be like with glasses. I might be 2020, but I am. I have one of my eyes has a little bit of permanent damage because of glaucoma that they're fixing, and it might be that I might never be 2020 again or without glasses. But luckily, because of the cataracts, they caught the glaucoma really, really early, which was very good for me. That saved me. So Harlan doesn't drive at night either. Well, you should try. Harlan, you should look into cataracts if you've never had cataract surgery. You might have cataracts. Apparently, for my parents, it worked miracles. So here we go, 2nd and 3. That looks like a first down to me. We're trying. Oh, flag. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? There it is. Holding against us. These referees, man. These referees. They are coming. They are imposing themselves into this football game. And it's just always they've gotten every one of our offensive line on something now. So that was Pittman. That was Pittman.
That's not a hold.
That's a bullshit call. That's a bullshit call. The referees.
But this referee is also known for throwing flags all over the place. It's terrible. It's bad.
When is the league going to talk to him then and say, "Look, you're going to be fired. You can't impose your impact on the game so much." It's ridiculous. Olufashano is hurt. The trainers are working on him. Receiving medical attention. Just please, no ACL, no Achilles, and we're okay. That's what you got. That's all that matters is no soft tissue injury, please.
God damn it. The hell, man. You know, if you get one of the nice things about getting a hybrid field, which is a hybrid of a natural grass and a little bit of artificial surface, you also get heat underneath the stadium. That's how it works in Green Bay. It's not purely grass. So that's one of the advantages actually is when it's this cold, you don't get like a frozen concrete stadium, frozen concrete, surface on the field. You get to heat it up a bit so that it's more natural. So, but I don't think we're ever doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, Woody is not moving out of the stadium. Our stadium is half owned by us and half by the Giants, and it's mostly Giants. I mean, the Giants started the project. We came in late. So, but I just don't think anybody really makes this a priority about the health of the players. They're going to have to force it in the new CBA. That's where it's going to have to come out, and the Players Association is going to have to stand firm on it. We'll see if they're able to do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the owners are just going to voluntarily do it. As annoying as it is to us fans, I don't think anybody stops watching because Olu Fashanu gets injured.
Yeah, it ruins our seat. Like if this is an ACL or an Achilles, if it's anything like that, he's out for half of next season.
Yeah, but do people stop watching because of that? No.
No.
Does it hurt the bottom line of the NFL?
I mean, it's just disgusting, and it's just like it's like we can't ever catch a break. We finally have a left tackle. Of course, we're not going to get to have it, right? Of course, it's going to get taken away from us.
Yeah.
Of course, in a meaningless game that means nothing. Of course, it's just like this is year after year after year. It never ends for us. It never ends. It's just one tragedy after another. It's just incredible.
I mean, look at the Lions. I mean, the better example this year is the Lions. Look at the Lions defense. Oh no.
On the cart, they're saying. That's it. So, I mean, hopefully, what could it be? I mean, that's on the card. It could be a sprain and he's not able to walk on it, I guess. Right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So now we have to sit here and hope that Olu Fashanu is going to be here for game 1 next season. That's what we have to sit here and worry about. Wow.
I mean, it could be an MCL. It could be an MCL sprain. It could be, it could be anything. We don't know.
Anybody who laughs at an injury like that is blocked forever from this channel. I'll say that right now. So goodbye. Yeah. I mean, I'll put up there's certain kind of trolling you could put up with and certain kind of trolling that you just won't put up with. But you don't laugh when when a rookie young guy has an injury that might impact his career.
Well, you don't laugh at injuries ever. Injuries are terrible even on the other team, any team. I don't want anybody injured.
Yeah. It's the worst part of football.
Yep.
Worst part of football by a mile. Fucking sucks.
But that was a 5-play drive. We couldn't move the ball. We
Yep.
had a holding call, and then we had an injury, and then incomplete. I mean.
Yep. There you go. We're certainly not ending the game like we did last week. So here we are, everyone. If you're Team Tank, you're happy, but you're not happy because Fashanu is down. I don't know if it's going to be all of next season, but if it is an ACL or anything like that, it's probably not likely he'll be back I don't know if he'll be back on time for next season because when you're a 300-pound plus guy, it takes longer. They're not like these little spry receivers who are back 6 months later. So I don't know. Next season is 9 months away. So if it's an ACL, I don't know. But you also have to hope it doesn't permanently impact his quickness. Yeah, a left tackle has got to be able to move and slide out to the left, for the speed rush. So to block the speed rush. So you need to be able to have. He'll need to not only recover, physically like as his strength, but you need to still have your speed. It's a bad injury, but hopefully not the Achilles. The ACL is a lot more manageable than the Achilles. Overall, we see a lot of ACLs come back and they're fine.
We'll try to.
What happened to Fasciano, Tony? What always happens to the Jets and the Jets? MetLife happened to Fasciano because we have to play on a ghetto sewer stadium with the worst ground in the NFL, the worst turf. And we're going to continue to lose players as long as that goes on. Like, we're always going to have to live with this and watch players go down because we play on this crappy rubber turf.
Yeah, and then they show this. They show this play. So we get called a DPI on one of the previous plays for something very similar. Then the Rams do it. They don't get the call. They don't get called for it. So that's the thing that's really annoying. But again, the league is not going to make these changes just because we want them to.
If guys, the chat is confusing me. See, we got Jonathan Francois saying they said foot. So if they said foot, then why is Ohio Jets fans saying ACL? Like, which is it, guys? We don't have sound. You guys do. So if you're going to put stuff in the chat, can you just tell us? Like, are you guessing and saying ACL? Are you guessing and saying foot? What are the announcers saying? Like, help us out here. We're like,
so the beat writers are saying foot.
Okay, so the beat writers are saying foot. It's foot right now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that could be wrong with a foot that's going to affect next year, right, Frankie?
Probably. I mean, you don't know.
Mm-hmm. All I care about is next year. Like, as long as he can full recovery, he's back by training camp next year. I couldn't care less about the next 2 games. So there's a very big difference. If it's a foot, we should be very happy or relieved right now if it's a foot. Because what could it be? If it's a broken foot, okay. I think 9 months from now, he'll be fine. You don't think Garrett Wilson will be a Jet next year? We own the rights to Garrett Wilson for 3 more years if we want. It's not up to Garrett Wilson. And he's not the type of player that's going to hold out or, like do something dirty, do us dirty like that. So it's up to us. Hopefully the new coaching staff will, hopefully whoever's the new coach, GM, new direction is going to sell him and get him excited. I don't want him to be unhappy, but it's not up to him. Garrett Wilson is a New York Jet. We can't start a precedent in the NFL where players get to pick and choose what happens to them, like in their rookie contract. There is a reason why free agency exists. When free agency comes, you can pick where you go. Other than that, there was a freaking contract worked out between the players union and the owners. That's the contract. That's the players agreement. Everybody signed it. We own the rights to you for 3 more years, and that's our response. I want him to be happy. So I hope I hope that whatever we do, whatever the direction of the team is, Garrett Wilson ends up on board and happy. Hopefully you're saying exactly to me. Because I like it when people say exactly. Do you agree with me, GreenBean? I mean, Frankie, I called you GreenBean.
The problem is he can make our life difficult. He can hold out. He can do different things. He could demand a trade and so forth. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna. A lot is being made over his comments after games when he's extremely frustrated. Connor Hughes is tweeting that Garrett Wilson has been targeted just 3 times. in this game. So that's the sort of thing that's, it's not good. That's not great.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
so,
look, I don't think we can decide whether or not Garrett Wilson wants a trade or not until the new coach comes. Like, give it a minute, like right, like in February, they're gonna probably have a Zoom call, whatever. The new coach is gonna come in, new coaches, they're gonna introduce themselves, the GM, they're gonna have a new vision, they're gonna have meetings with the players. We don't know how he's gonna feel after that. It just depends.
well, we need to see who
You
the
know,
quarterback is. I mean,
and you need to see who the quarterback is. Absolutely. I mean, if
I
we're not
don't
gonna have
think
it,
the more this goes on, I don't think they're going to run it back with Rodgers.
yeah.
This guy with his 2 fouls on the play, he loves his flags. This man.
Phil Adams with his astute observation says, usually, and this is true, you're in tears. Well, usually they show the guy with the helmet off and he's in tears, right? He is emotional. The players, 3 or 4 Jet players go around him and pat him on the head and they're sad and they're on their knees praying and all that stuff. Like what we saw yesterday with Tank Dell. But that didn't happen with Olu. With Olu, they said he just got carted away. Like thumbs up, hey, my foot's broken. I'll see you next year, guys.
It's probably related to that toe injury. He's been on the injury report the last few weeks with a toe. He probably just got turf toe or something, and that's a serious injury. He shouldn't play the rest of the year, but it's not something that imperils him long term.
Yeah. So Jonathan Francois says, "What's up with all these Jet fans wanting A-Rod back?" Well, I mean, the reality is, first of all, he's under contract, so not having him back is a $49 million cap hit, which might bother some. And the other thing is that A-Rod might, when it's all said and done, have statistically put together the best quarterback season for a quarterback since 1969. So I think that's why that they might have him back, or the Jet fans might want him back, because it's the statistically may end up being the best quarterback we've had in many, many, many years. What do you think? What do you think, Frankie? Why would Jet fans want him back?
Well, we're seeing relative competence compared to what we've seen recently. At the same time, I'm just not sure it's worth it with regard to all the extracurricular stuff he brings, and he's going to be a year older, and the injury risk and all of this. I don't know. And plus, it's actually, if you take your medicine next year, you just take a $49 million cap hit, and then I think we're done with him.
Yep.
That's a field goal. So like you just take your medicine, and it's rough for 1 year, but so be it. Whereas if you pay him, unless he restructures his contract,
Yep.
I don't know. I could see it going either way, but I think most Jet fans are just reacting to somewhat decent quarterback play that we haven't seen in a while. So
yeah,
this is a field goal.
yeah. I mean, but also John here makes a point, and he just says, "Who are you replacing him with?" Right.
Well,
Which
you'd have to have a plan. So you have to have a plan. So obviously, you'd replace him immediately with the bridge quarterback of Tyrod, and that's just a bridge. Then you try to develop Jordan Travis, and you probably take a quarterback in this draft of some kind. You just take a dart throw somewhere in the 3rd round or something, and then you have to figure it out. But those are the first kind of choices that you're going to have to make if you're the head coach. What are you and general manager? What's the plan for the quarterback position?
Yeah.
Because if you get rid of A-Rod, it's basically Tyrod plus 2 youngsters, and you hope one of them develops. And then if not, you got to, then after the season, you got to make another choice.
Yeah. Yeah. So Chris Down, thank you for that. Officially, the Jets officially tweeted out that it was a foot injury. Those of you that are screaming ACL, that were just screaming it to scream it, you gotta stop, man. You can't put out information unless you know. You could say, I think it's an ACL, my opinion ACL, but don't put out it's an ACL and don't do that to other Jet fans, man. Come on. Because we don't know who's getting what information. Let's try to be accurate and respect each other. because ACL is a very different than a foot injury. I mean, whew, I'm taking a big sigh of relief. I mean, like Frankie, one of the things I'm really happy about for the future of this team is that we have a left tackle.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the offensive line has to be looked at as a plus going forward, and Olu's a big part of that. So yeah, let's just hope it's not too
Mm.
serious. He can sit out the last 2 games. You know, whatever. We need him to get better for next year. No reason to have him risk anything. Just go on IR. See you next year, Olu. Get
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess they get to look at Warren and or Mitchell and see what just more snaps for them, more reps for them, just to see what they are. Are they backups? Do you cut them? Do you move on from them? I mean, you got to look at some of these guys and make decisions anyway. We're out of the playoff race. I know everybody wants to try to win, and I don't want A-Rod to be in danger by taking guys out, but also it's nice to have the opportunity to look at what you have so you can make some educated decisions, like you have something on film, because you can end up now getting 2 full games of film on either Mitchell or Warren, or a game each on both of them. And you could make it could help with a decision when you could see what they could do in a real game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Conklin
So,
was 8. Let's get the ball to Garrett Wilson. How about that, A-Rod, the big brain? How about getting the ball to Garrett? He needs some yardage.
it's so frustrating. And then when we look back at it and we look back at it and on the all 22, and then you see him open on so many plays. It's like, why are you not just looking for him?
Man,
Like we're watching the game back.
This play right here, he's wide open. He goes to Adams, who's also open. But it's like, man, get the ball to Garrett, man.
It's so frustrating. It's like, but especially when he throws it into tight coverage and it's an incomplete pass, and then you look at the play back and you see that Garrett was wide open, and you're like, what are you doing? It's just so annoying.
Golly.
And then we wonder why he wants to be traded. I mean, can you imagine how frustrating it is to be open and have your quarterback just not throw you the ball? Play after play. And it's not like he drops them, right? He makes these amazing catches. He's our best receiver. So, yeah, see what you have, says Harlan. Then you may decide you want to draft 2 tackles. In my AI voice, hello, Harlan. Great to see you here.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
I don't think we're. I mean, we might draft 2 tackles, but one will be in the late rounds. There's not a lot of tackles. We need to draft at least one. That's for sure.
if there was any real seriousness in trying to win this game, they would be throwing deeper downfield and they'd be in a hurry. They have no intentions. They're not trying to win the game. Like if this is a playoff game, they'd be racing, running around, throwing downfield. This is a team that's content to just have one last drive, maybe put up some points and take the L without question. Because this is not the offense you run if you're trying to win this game right now in this situation. You got 3.5 minutes left. They're taking their time like it's the middle of the third quarter.
I just don't understand so many snaps for Alan Lazard. I mean, somebody's got to. We can't even get Malachi in the game ever for any snaps at all ever. He can't play. He's that bad. He can't get on the field. I mean, I don't understand it.
I don't know.
I mean, Lazard's going to have like 50 plus snaps.
Yeah. That looks like a first down. Too little, too late. That's our motto. Too little, too late. But for the purposes of you, Frankie, just so you know, Rodgers is at 252 yards, so he is on pace. He's on pace. He maintains his pace to break 4,000 yards, which would be kind of interesting.
Wilson's up to 50 yards. I think he needs 13 more yards to break 1,000. So let's focus on Garrett Wilson, shall we? No, let's keep throwing at Devontae Adams. I mean, they'll let us throw to him. They don't care.
Right? What do they care?
They're just bleeding the clock at this point.
They're loving this. We're just giving them the game. We're laying down. They love it. They're like, oh yeah, they'll give us. Yeah, they're enjoying this. They're like,
but might as well throw to Garrett. Let him eat, man.
Yeah, they're too stupid to do that. But I mean, he's throwing it to his friend. He's he'd rather play catch with his friend. But yeah, I mean, but like for people who are thinking, oh, but Rodgers is making good decisions, he's doing good things now. I mean, but I could see the other side of it to say, yeah, but why isn't he in a hurry? Like why? Like this is. I mean, the Rams are going to give you this all day long. Look at that. They gave him tons of space. They're going to give you this all day. They love this. This is forfeiting the game. We're waving a white flag right now. Like this is the Rams' dream. That they're like, oh, we don't have to worry that they're rushing and they're going to score and try to hold us and kick a field goal. No, the game's over. We're saying it's over by throwing little dink passes and eating up the clock.
Like even this play that just happened is so stupid. Where we instead of letting the clock run down, he wants to go up there and do whatever. And
who is in the game right now at left tackle? Is that Mitchell? I think it's Mitchell, right?
Yeah, it's Mitchell.
It's Mitchell.
And so, but instead of just letting the clock go to the 2-minute warning, he wants to run some stupid shit. And, now it's 4th and 9 and now we can't go for it. Yeah. It's just dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
Just over and over and over.
So now they're going to try to kick this field goal and do it that way, where now they need a touchdown after getting the ball back with, a minute left. Okay.
And of course we miss it because we're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah. It's such a garbage team. But we knew it. We knew that. We knew it, this team. I mean, we didn't know it in the beginning of the year, but we knew it as soon as the season started.
Well, one thing's obvious. Anders Carlson is not going to be our kicker next year. We figured that out. So hooray for that.
Oh, are the Panthers winning? Well, that's cool. We may as well improve our draft pick if we're going to lose anyway.
Well, Garrett got some yardage there. I guess that's the only positive. He's close.
He needs 30 yards. He's got 2 more games, though, right? We got 2 games left.
Yeah, he's got 2 more games. He'll get it. He
may get it today if we get the ball back because they're going to let us have, they're going to play prevent defense.
We're not getting the ball back. There's less than 2 minutes left. How we're going to get the ball back? You would need something called a defense to get the ball back, Jeremy. We don't have that.
Also, we missed the field goal, so why would we try? If we get the ball back,
there's no point. I mean,
yeah,
it's over. Game is over, ladies and gentlemen.
Game is officially over when you think about it, when you do the math.
So Team Tank, congratulations.
Congratulations to Team Tank. Looks like we have a super chat from Jonathan Francois who says, A-Rod stat padding, dinking and dunking down the field against prevent defense. What a pro. Give him another year. So I think he's being a little facetious. And I think that Jonathan Francois does not want to see Aaron Rodgers come back. I think Jonathan is ready to pay the $49 million. Here you go. Have a nice life. And move on. And, it's hard to argue heavily against either argument, to be honest. It's, this much says it all. Happy tank year to all. Merry tank.
A good tank.
And to all a good tank.
But at least a team like the Panthers, they got their young quarterback. They got that answer already. Team like the Falcons, they got a young quarterback. They got their answer what they're doing with their quarterback already going forward. Yeah. Broncos. Yeah.
Yeah. We needed a very, very different cultural change. That's I don't know how else to say it. We need a very big cultural change in this organization. We've said it before. I've said it many times. We've been in this situation many times in our history, but here we are again. We find ourselves in need of a big change. The locker room right now, it's just a losing locker room. It's just a losing team, and that has a hard time winning games. What are they going to say right now in the last few weeks? What have they done? We beat Jacksonville. Yeah, you beat a team that's tanking. That's what you did. You beat it. Did we even beat Jacksonville? Wait a second. Now I'm confused. Yeah, I think we did, right? No, did we? No, we didn't. No, yes, we did. I have to think about it because the wins are so ugly and so bad they don't even feel like wins.
I mean, they're showing A-Rod on the field wanting to call a timeout and being frustrated that Ulbrich, I guess, told him not to. I mean, it's so disheartening that what is this? That we fired Saleh and give the head coaching job to Ulbrich, who's Saleh but dumber. I don't understand that whole sequence of events. That is just really bizarre. Now he's got 2 pens in his hat. Boy, oh boy. You can really tell about a coach with the number of pens in their hat. 1 pen in the hat means they're not good. 2 pens in the hat, terrible. These coaches, they just never learn, man.
Yeah. Right. So they were able to beat the Jags. That's the pride. We beat the Jags. We're better than them. Oy.
I don't think, what's interesting, I kind of don't think A-Rod wants to come back, be honest with you. What if A-Rod was like, hey, Devontae, let's go as a package deal. Let's go to the Raiders.
Well, he's saying he wants back. Guys, I forgot to do it. I got to do it at least one more time. Oh, I'm sorry, but I have no choice here. So, because I know we're all probably not in the mood to hear it, but if you want to at least make, feel better and get something positive out of the day, you could go to BetUS, download their app, and get 150% sign-up bonus. So make the day feel a little bit better. Get something. Get some free money. Put $100 into the BetUSA app. Allow them to give you 150% sign-up bonus. And voila. Now you have extra money to play with, and maybe you could win a lot of money. That's BetUS, the sponsor of the reaction party at GreenBean Jetsfan. This is who our sponsor is. It's an app. You all know how to go to the App Store and download it. Hopefully, legal. And if it's legal in your state, go ahead. Don't waste time. Take advantage of the promotion. All you got to do is type in capital YOUTUBE 150. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is BetUS. Okay. They keep saying fumble. Is it true? I don't see any fumble. Or did we fumble?
This fucking guy is. Thank God we have him, because what would we do without number 82? He deserves to get every fucking play, every special teams, everything in the world. This guy, What is going on with this? With these football people, do they not have eyes? Thank God we have Xavier Gibson. What a joy it is to watch him play a fucking football game. Tell you that much.
Xavier Gibson is such a piece of trash, and he is absolutely worthless, valueless, and please, if we see anything next year, my number one priority is please no Xavier Gibson on this roster. He's an undrafted free agent.
Listen, man, he needs to be here because he has a great personality, man. He has a wonderful smile. He says hello to everyone. He's a nice guy. Who cares if he can't play football? What are we talking about? We need nice people here. What a bum.
He is
Get rid of him.
Absolute piece of trash. We've been saying it all year. The guy had one great play for us, and we've had to endure this horrendously bad punt returner since one game. It's been 16 games plus 14 games, 30 games since his touchdown. And for 30 games, we've had to suffer. And this guy has had a roster spot active every week, keeping Corley, the guy we traded up for in the draft, inactive. This is the guy that's keeping him inactive, people. That's what you're seeing, this piece of trash. And that says everything about why Jeff Ulbrich is a fraud.
The whole coaching staff.
The whole coaching staff.
Sean Jefferson, too.
A joke. Sean Jefferson, all of them. They're all garbage. I cannot wait to clean house. I cannot wait for these guys to be gone. They are a disgrace.
We have to sit here and watch Alan Lazard drop pass after pass after pass. But Corley can't play. And then we have to watch Xavier Gibson muff punt after punt after punt and do absolutely nothing on kick returns or anything else. He can't even get in the slot. But no, the guy we said no matter what, Malachi Corley, no matter what, we got to draft this guy. Absolutely. We get him here, and he can't get on the field because these other bums are over him. Get out of here, man. Get these people out of here.
Complete garbage. Complete garbage. Just complete garbage. Guys, we're not going to do the normal hanging around forever and watching. I have no interest in what Jeff Ulbrich has to say. If any of you are wondering what Jeff Ulbrich is going to say, let me save you the time. What he's going to say is we're going to take a really hard look at the punt returning. We're going to take a really hard look at some of those play calls, the 4th and 1. We're going to take a really hard look. We're going to look at our personnel decision of not using Braylon Allen on that 4th and 1, and we're going to take a really hard look at what other options were. We're going to take a really hard look.
Yeah, hard look. We're going to take a hard look. The problem is when you're the one taking a hard look and you're a dum-dum, it doesn't matter. You don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Freaking tired of these dum-dums.
Well, thank you, guys. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you being here with us and suffering with us. I guess it's better than suffering alone. It was really hard. It was rough without GreenBean. We all miss him. Believe me, we all wish he was here. But Frankie, thank you so much for being here. I don't know what would have happened if you weren't willing to come on today. So everyone, again, I'll be back on Friday at 5 p.m. on Jets Chaos. We'll be looking at the quarterback from Alabama with Tony the GM. I know how Frankie loves Tony the GM, by the way. And Frankie will have a post-game reaction on his channel. Go to Frankie from Flatbush right now and subscribe. Get ready for his post-game show. Usually within 48 hours, you will see the PFF grades. There's no funner way to watch it than watching or learning and seeing those grades than seeing it with Frankie. I'm always watching it. If I miss it, I always watch the replay of it. It's one of my favorite things, to look forward to after a horrible Jets losses. At least I get to see who played well, and I'm very into that stuff. I'm very into how the younger players are doing. So make sure that you subscribe right now to Frankie from Flatbush. Don't miss that content. Again, Jets Chaos. I'm doing quarterback reviews every week, looking at film. I'll be doing some stuff with Tigo too. He doesn't know that yet, but I will. Some non-position players. We're going to just hang out and look at film on all 22. So that's what we got going on. Super, super appreciate everybody being here. You got anything left to say, Frankie?
I think that about covers it. Coffee with Frankie Sunday mornings at 10. If it's Sunday morning at 10, it's Coffee with Frankie on Sundays.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, BetUS. Remember, they are our sponsor. BetUS sponsored us. They have that promotion going, so don't miss out on that. 150% bonus. And everybody, we will see you when we see you. We'll be back. GreenBean will be back. So everybody take care, and I will leave you with what are we going to leave you with? I know you guys love this stuff, right? You love to see these things. So what has GreenBean got here that we could watch? Here we go.
No, he fakes it. He's setting him up. Throws it to fucking Conklin or Rucker. It's really just a Jets chamber pot. Oh, we suck at stuff. To Garrett Wilson.
Oh, what a catch! What a catch!
That was all Zach, everybody. Oh, Quinn gets him. Yeah!
Yes!
Look at that. Oh, yeah! A real live offensive touchdown. Got pressure. Run, you idiot. Here we go. Oh, that's a catch. That's a catch. All right, everybody. Garrett Wilson doesn't give a shit. Look at Zachy do, huh? Let's go, Zod. Gets it around the end. Run, little guy. Touchdown.
Oh!
Are you kidding me? I believe in Zod. Let's go, Jets.